At Metro Flooring, you always get more, like more rooms of carpet and more savings with this great deal. For a limited time, you can get 3 rooms of carpet for just $7.99. See all the ways you can get more for your money at metroflooringcontractors.com.
Stream your favorite shows, get the day's top headlines, and access our podcast archives. All WMAL app.
Hey, gotta get that going.
Get the WMAL app Google Play or the App Store. Presented by Hill College's D.C. Craft School of Government.
Young County Sheriff Walt McNeil says one of the guns found at the scene belonged to his deputy.
We will continue that investigation into how that weapon was used and what other weapon perhaps he may have had access to.
He says the deputy has an outstanding record of service. No word yet on motive, but police think the man acted alone. With D.C. and the Commanders now reportedly in talks about a new football stadium at the old RFK site, some D.C. residents saying, no thank you.
We're all excited by the Commanders' recent success, but the reality is that D.C. can't afford to spend kind of money on a luxury stadium.
Nick Telly with a group called No Billionaires Playground commissions the RFK site developed with new affordable homes instead, adding,
the economic studies are clear. Stadiums cost cities money. All the cities in the country that have shelled out big bucks for stadiums have been left holding the tab.
Telly wants the D.C. Council to put a stop to any new RFK stadium proposal. Barbara Britt, WMAL and WMAL.com.
Mayor Muriel Bowser says in upcoming budget talks, she'll outline a plan to, quote, realize abundant opportunities at our RFK. Checking your money, the Dow down 527 points and the NASDAQ closing off 20. Traffic and weather next.
Hey, weekend warriors, how's a little trail therapy sound right now? Hop in. Let's go for a ride in the all-new Nissan Armada Pro 4X. Tune out all those work emails and turn up that twin-turbo V6 engine. Instead of letting the kids play online, show them some epic inclines. Turn your 8-person family dinner into an exhilarating off-road adventure. The all-new Nissan Armada is here. Intelligent four-wheel drive can prevent delays behind enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions.
When you're in HR, it can feel like nothing is easy. From payroll to PTO, from onboarding to benefits, and everything in between. It's a constant juggle of tasks, systems, and spreadsheets. But your HR software? That's the easy part. Meet Bamboo HR. Trusted by over 34,000 companies, it handles all your HR tasks, payroll, benefits, and time tracking, so your team and your company can grow as fast as, well, Bamboo. And Bamboo HR software is actually easy to use. One simple system that pulls all your people data together in one place, so you can ditch scattered systems and wasted hours on tasks that should only take minutes. Because when HR is easier, you can focus on what matters most, your people. HR is hard. Bamboo HR is easy. Ready to simplify all your HR tasks? For a limited time, get a $100 Visa gift card when you complete a free demo at bamboohr.com/gift card. Again, that's bamboohr.com/gift card. Terms and conditions apply.
Bravo TV star Lala Kent holds nothing back.
There's been so many times where I'm like, I apologize that I said that, but that wasn't meant for you to hear.
Feel you there.
How fun would it be to bring in some Bravo celebrities and make our own bracket?
Iconic.
All right, I'll take Dorinda, you take Sonia.
Sonia is who I wish I could be.
You and me both. I cannot be someone in the program. What's PTO?
Pay time off. See?
Oh.
You've never had a real job.
Give them Lala.
It is nothing but honesty.
You guys know.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Here's Michelle Murray in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
The accidents on the outer loop of the Beltway after 66 now clear, but still very slow from the toll road. And the accidents on eastbound 66 at the Leesburg Pike cleared as well, though there is still an accident eastbound on 7 at South Walter Reed Drive in Arlington that is causing delays from Carlin Springs Road. There is still crash activity on the outer loop after Landover Road. That has traffic very slow from Ritchie Marlboro Road, and still a crash on the freeway eastbound before the 3rd Street Tunnel, and traffic delays begin at the 14th Street Bridge. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
After a near perfect spring afternoon, it's a near perfect evening. Clear and cool with temperatures down to 54 to 58 degrees. Not as cold overnight, about 44 to 50 degrees. Your Friday going to be fantastic, around 80 degrees with partly sunny skies. I'm 7 News Chief Meteorologist Veronica Johnson in the First Alert Weather Center.
Right now, 65 degrees in Mountain. I'm Heather at Sun News Talk 105.1 WMA.
Now, 105 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL. Mark
From the underground and deep in the foul hidden bunker. Set under the brick in Sullivan nondescript building, we've once again made contact with our leader, Mark Levin.
Sullivan here. Our number, 877-381-3811. 877-381-3811. Another one of these shootings, but this is really, kind of shocking. The shooter, I think, is 20 years old, and he's the son of a deputy sheriff in the same county in Florida. And the deputy sheriff, she has been with the sheriff's office for 18 years with a stellar record. Can you imagine? And not only that, her son, who killed 2 people and wounded 4 others, was part of the sheriff's office sort of youth advisory committee. So a terrible thing. Florida State University in Tallahassee. Let's take a listen. This is Jason Trumbauer, Chief of Police, Florida State University in Tallahassee. This is the latest update. Cut 17, go.
At approximately 11:50 a.m., Thursday, April 17th, a gunman opened fire on the main campus of Florida State University in Tallahassee, shooting multiple individuals in the vicinity of the Student Union building. FSU police responded immediately, engaged, neutralized, and apprehended the shooter. 2 victims of the deceased are deceased, and 5 individuals have been transported to a local hospital with gunshot wounds. The shooter has also been transported to a local hospital. The 2 deceased are not students. The shooter is believed to be a current FSU student.
Really sad. Cut 18 is the sheriff, Walt McNeil. This is Leon County, Florida, by the way. Go.
The question as it relates to who is the shooter is 20-year-old Phoenix Eichner. And he's the son of a Leon County Sheriff deputy.
That was shocking.
Our Deputy Eichner, has been with the Leon County Sheriff's Office for over 18 years. She has a tremendous job that she's done. Her service to this community has been exceptional. Unfortunately, her son had access to one of her weapons, and that was one of the weapons that was found at the scene. And we are continuing that investigation into how that weapon was used and what other weapons perhaps he may have had access to. The alleged shooter was also a long-standing member of the Leon County Sheriff's Office Citizen Advisory or Youth Advisory Council. So he has been steeped in the Leon County Sheriff's Office family, engaged in a number of training programs that we have. So it's not a surprise to us that he had access to weapons. This event is tragic in more ways than you people in the audience could ever fathom from a law enforcement perspective. But I will tell you this, we will make sure that we do everything we can to prosecute and make sure that we send a message to that this will never be tolerated here in Leon County, and I dare say across the state and across this nation.
Horrible. Horrible. Can you imagine being the mother? It's just terrible. And of course, the people who perished and are injured. President Trump was asked about this in the Oval Office today. Cut 19, go.
Anything you see broken with gun laws in our
Well, I'm going to have to.
Okay, let's just, I'm so sick of the media. They're just so predictable, so left-wing, so awful. He's the son of a deputy sheriff. What gun control? What gun control could there possibly be? These people don't even believe in border control, fentanyl control, sex trafficking control. I mean, can you imagine all the illicit weapons that came across the border during Joe Biden's presidency? They don't even talk about that. You have an open border. I mean, illegal guns and other weapons are coming into our country. Nobody even talks about it. Go ahead.
Anything you see broken.
Look, I'm a big advocate of the Second Amendment. I have been from the beginning. I protected it. And these things are terrible. But the gun doesn't do the shooting, the people do. It's, a phrase that's used probably too often. I will tell you that it's a shame. I'm just hearing about it now. I just hear about it. I know the area very well. I know the school very well. I know everything about it. It's Florida. And we'll have more to say about it later.
What do you mean when you say there will be more to say about it?
Only in terms of what happened. As far as legislation is concerned, this has been going on for a long time. I have an obligation to protect the Second Amendment. I ran on the Second Amendment, among many other things, and I will always protect the Second Amendment.
Let me ask you folks something. Isn't it interesting to you that they go crazy over supposed due process for murderers and rapists who are from other countries, or MS-13 types, wife beaters? Right? Due process. Fifth Amendment. Gotta have it. Okay, fine. But we have other amendments. That is the Constitution, including the Second Amendment. And every time something happens, this is what we hear. Now, what about that poor kid who was stabbed in the heart by that other kid at the I guess it was the hockey game? What about that? Wasn't a gun. And an armed kid stabs another kid right in the heart because they're having a tussle in the stands. They've raised like $500,000 for him online. They're trying to turn it into some civil rights case, sort of a reverse civil rights case. Well, what do you expect? It's self-defense. Self-defense? So maybe the media should tell us up front which amendments matter and when and why do they matter. Maybe they should tell us that. This has nothing to do with the Second Amendment. His mother is in law enforcement. He took the gun from wherever the mother was storing it and used it. That's what happened. Law enforcement has to have guns, and they have to have access to their guns. And horrible things happen sometimes, infrequently. More people are killed by automobiles every year than are killed by guns. But you don't hear people talk, well, actually you do. They would love to take our automobiles away, but you get my point. But of course, the media are not the press. They're the media. It's different. They're not journalists. They're just media. Not journalistic media, just media. And they're there to jerk their knees, ask the same kind of questions every single time, push the same kind of agenda. Do you know of a single reporter at CNN or MSNBC, CBS, NBC, or ABC, the New York Times, or the Washington Post, who dares to raise questions about this guy Garcia, who was deported to El Salvador, which is his country, which is his home? Do you know of one who's dared to raise questions and concerns about his real background, whether it's MS-13 or beating his wife? And of course, there doesn't need to be more than the fact that he's here illegally. And they want to make this massive case out of it. Even the Fourth Circuit, the 3 panel judges there. And I'm quite familiar with the Reagan appointee who moved center left over the decades. Quite familiar with him. He had a close vote out of the Senate. I think it was 52-48 or something like that. And one of the senators who opposed Wilkinson was Barry Goldwater back in the day. I'll be right back.
Mud News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Did you know that other organization supports LGBTQ rights? That's right. That other so-called senior advocacy group is pushing a radical left-wing agenda. They've been in bed with the left for years. That's why I stand with AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. It's the conservative alternative, and they're fighting to protect the America we grew up loving. Anyone can join AMAC regardless of your age. That's right. You don't have to be 50 or 60, but they want every freedom-loving American in the fight. And right now, AMAC is offering a 5-year membership it for $31. Normally it's $60. That's a 47% off. But this offer ends on April 30th. And your $31 doesn't go to some woke nonsense. They help AMAC stand up for your values across this great country. Oh, and did I mention you get fantastic benefits and discounts like nowhere else? Go to amac.us/Levin right now. amac.us/LEVIN. That's amac.us/Levin. Join the fight for America's future.
In Springfield, there's a disabled vehicle on southbound 95 between the Franconia-Springfield Parkway and Catholic Road. 2 right lanes are blocked and traffic is jammed from the freeway. You'll also find delays heading southbound through Woodbridge in towards
box of them.
Dumfries, and brief delays from Garrison to Latoya headed towards Courthouse Road and the Centerport Parkway. The accident eastbound on the freeway before the 3rd Street.
Perfect snack.
Traffic is still jammed up from the 14th Street Bridge. Interloop the Beltway at the Dulles Toll Road. A crash blocks the
Be with you in a minute.
is jammed up from the Leesburg Pike. Now for GarageRepair.com, the WMAL Storm Watch 7 forecast.
Tonight, clear, lows in the 40s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, highs in the mid to upper 70s.
Hey, weekend warriors, how's a little trail therapy sound right now? Hop in. Let's go for a ride in the all-new Nissan Armada Pro 4X. Tune out all those work emails and turn up that twin-turbo V6 engine. Instead of letting the kids play online, show them some epic inclines. Turn your 8-person family dinner into an exhilarating off-road adventure. The all-new Nissan Armada is here. Intelligent four-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions.
Running a business? You know that slow phone systems and missed messages cost you opportunities. OpenPhone is the #1 business phone system that streamlines communication, helps teams collaborate seamlessly, and respond to customers faster. Join over 50,000 businesses already using OpenPhone and get 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/radio. They'll even port your existing numbers from another service for free. openphone.com/radio for 20% off. OpenPhone. No missed calls. No missed customers.
Hi, I'm Jamie McMurray, professional race car driver here with cab driver Artie.
Professional cab driver.
Sorry, professional cab driver Artie. Drinking responsibly is knowing your limits. If you are over yours, ask Artie or someone like Artie to get you home safely. To learn more about drinking responsibly, go to beforeyoudrink.org.
So, you think I could take your number 26 Crown Royal race car for a spin?
Did you get out of there?
Be a champion. Drink responsibly. This message has been brought to you by the Century Council.
Making sense of your money, the state of the economy, the ability to afford your life. That's what people want.
WMAL's Vince Colonnades, weekdays at noon.
The kind of thing I pay attention to, I'm looking at.
News Talk 105.9, WMAL, making sense of the news.
Not good on convos? Why not listen to the latest in news, sports, and lifestyle on the Cumulus Podcast Network?
That's a great strategy. It's actually more like going on a walk with friends.
You'll become the eyes and ears to the world. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Every time I feel my baby kick, I sing. You don't understand. I never sing. I'm not good at singing. I'm the only person.
Yeah, there's crimes like that happen over in the UK and Europe all the time we don't hear about. They use other things to kill people. And that's the first I've heard the news on it today. I haven't listened to any news today. I've been busy. Now, this morning, Wiggin, after I went off the air, you went off the air, whatever, and JT went live. That fucker didn't go live until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, granted, I got up at midnight, but you never know when I'm going live. I go live anytime. All right. And I found my account that he put a wrench on. I sat there, I watched. Doggo Mama and Rusty are holding hands. Wow. This is what I mean. People you guys send mixed messages in there. It's just strange. It's just fucking strange. So here comes Betty Lafarge. Make a post. I really want to let them know I was there yet. I was waiting. So I timed that fucker out. About it, Willie the Pimp.
Okay.
All right, Levin's back on. I got my water going. I got to put water on for coffee, and I'm rolling a joint.
I really don't.
Side chat is open. If you don't like the voice, mute it and play your music.
The anniversary, we should.
'Cause I want to hear this.
But there are other times to think about it too. Like today, like tomorrow, like the next day, like the next several weeks. During these negotiations with Iran. The Islamists, not to be confused with Islam per se, the Islamists, you can Google this yourself, these are terrorists. And what they preach is, quote unquote, pure Islam. What's pure Islam? It's whatever they say it is. This is one of the reasons that you will find in countries that are mostly Muslim, these brutal battles between Muslims and the slaughter of Muslims, whether it's Syria or Lebanon or Yemen or wherever it is. And more Muslims kill Muslims than anybody else kills Muslims. Why? Because of the Islamists. There's not anything close to a democratic country in any majority Muslim country. It's not because of the population per se. It's because of the rulers. The rulers are either military despots, Islamist Nazis, or
Oh, these fuckers. Oh, I'm fucking sick of that. Now what? What the fuck? Hate that when they fucking do that shit. Just goes off. It just like it fucking loses connection or whatever. Fucking ignorant. I pay good money for this and this fucking happens. They're pretty quick to play a commercial though. They watch the throw a fucking Google Play commercial at me. Get the fuck out of here, Google.
they also believe
Fucking
that
ignorant.
God
Google, you're
is
fucking ignorant.
to eliminate all barriers to pure Islam. Please listen carefully. I've been reading this. I've been studying this. So barriers to Islam would include, number one, Muslims who aren't pure enough. And you see this in Iran, you see it elsewhere, where they literally slaughter people, rape them, you know, if they're not pure enough, if they don't live under the law as Khomeini or others think. That's number one. Number two, in addition to cleansing themselves, they argue, they write, the planet needs to be cleansed of anything and anyone who does not share their pure Muslim, quote unquote, ideology. Their pure Muslim ideology. Now, there's a lot of Muslims in this country. My banker's a Muslim, sweetheart. I've known the guy 30 years. He's a great guy. I can go on and on and on. They don't buy into this. The problem is they, like the rest of the world, are victims of this. 9/11, Osama bin Laden, he was an adherent to this ideology of pure Islam. The terrorists on 9/11 were adherents to that ideology. The Muslim Brotherhood was born out of this ideology, and from the Muslim Brotherhood spawned Hamas, Islamic Jihad, and on and on and on. Hezbollah's the same. So the same kinds of deterrents that work, maybe with the communists, maybe with the fascists, do not work with a purist ideology in which the next life is more important than the existing life. And where the goal is and directed by God to purify humanity, to eliminate all obstacles. That is your God-given directive, according to these Islamists who write and speak and are enormously influential. One by the name of Quadi, who wrote a book called Milestones. Our friend Zuhdi Jasser wrote about the
I'm getting sick of these fuckers interrupting my program. Because it's exactly what they're fucking doing. Fucking ignorant. Just pure fucking ignorance. I'm going to get me a fucking AM/FM radio. That way they can't fucking do anything to that. This digital shit, they can sit there, right? 10 seconds behind, they fucking know what's going on and they can fucking preempt anything they want. Google, you better get your fucking head out of your ass.
Headlines.
See? And right? And it's fucking sickening that they do this
Writer
shit.
says Newsmax.
No, I missed
is
what
one
he
of the
said.
top news brands in America.
Kind of knew what he was saying.
Even President
We're
Trump
talking
says
about
Newsmax
Hezbollah.
is terrific, and he's watching. Tens of
You notice ACAT finally dropped that Palestinian flag.
to Newsmax for the news they can trust. So make the switch today.
Yeah, he was begging to be wished a happy birthday. He brought your name up. They never said my name, not fucking once. I don't know. Afterwards, I fucking left. I had something to do. But there's Doggo Mama and Rusty holding hands in JT's chat. Just the lovey-dovey going. Doggo having a grand old time.
To his deputy. The 20-year-old went to the school, but the people killed.
So what is it, Rusty? I thought you fucking hated Doggo Mama.
Shot him. Police think he acted alone, but don't yet know the motive. Fed Chair Jerome Powell says he will not resign if the president asks him to, but President Trump says
If I want him out, he'll be out of there real fast, believe me.
President Trump
That's the Fed chair. We're getting sick of the Federal Reserve. Fuck you, cocksuckers. Get out of my fucking back pocket.
Tariffs are highly likely to generate at least a temporary rise in inflation.
Powell's term expires next year. Traffic and weather next.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be
I
able
just got done rolling my joint. I'm going to sit, roll the joint, or I've already rolled it, and I'm going to smoke my joint off camera.
Speech difficulty.
Side chat's open. Enjoy the American flag.
Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Imagine the hospital experience. There's a constant parade of serious doctors, countless tests, and a serious diagnosis. Scary surgeries are followed by painful recoveries. You're in the hospital for days, weeks, months. Now imagine you're a child. This is why Starlight exists. Starlight programs help kids in the hospital cope, build resilience, bolster confidence, and change their outlook, because happiness matters. Visit starlight.org to learn more.
When your business information is missing or inconsistent across the internet, search engines won't find you, and customers won't either. Help ensure customers see you and not your competitors. Boost your findability. Cumulusboost.com. CUMULUS Boost.com.
Illuminating the issues
There's a whole lot missing here in this story, isn't there?
every day.
Why are we the only ones reporting this?
News Talk 105.9. Making sense of the news. making sense of your world.
Common sense. Let's get back to common sense.
WMAL's Vince Colonnades, weekdays at noon.
Now that should give you a lot of cause for hope.
News Talk 105.9, WMAL, making sense of the news.
Bright Focus Foundation's Alzheimer's disease research program is paving the way for a cure. Learn about symptoms, diagnosis, and breakthrough research at brightfocus.org or call us at 1-855-345-6237 for free resources.
Making sense of your morning.
Lots of coverage here on that developing story.
O'Connor and Company, weekday mornings from 5 to 9.
Larry O'Connor here getting you through your morning.
Making sense of Washington.
Asking some very specific questions, some legitimate questions.
Making sense of the double standard.
And here's the latest example.
Making sense of the headlines.
Let me break it down for you, because there's plenty to break down here.
O'Connor and Company with Larry O'Connor. Mornings from 5 to 9. News Talk 105.9. WMAL. Making sense of the news.
Blowing out your birthday candles should be easy, but if you have undiagnosed COPD, you may find yourself short of breath. Early diagnosis and treatment can add years to your life. If you have symptoms like wheezing or chronic cough, talk to your doctor and visit copdfoundation.org today.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Making sense of your world.
I can't believe this.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
And I am so with you.
Making sense of the news.
Mark Levin, an unapologetic patriot and unapologetic constitutionalist. You can reach him at 877-381-3811.
Well, I got a call the other day from the White House, from the president, as a matter of fact. I'm getting ready to start this show. It was yesterday. In the beginning of the show was slightly delayed. You'll notice that the introductory music went on a little bit longer, right, Mr. Producer? We had to play Patton a little bit, but there's nothing wrong with that. I think Patton today would be under vicious attack by the so-called influencers and podcasters who don't know their you-know-what from their you-know-what. But that said, and the president said, Mark, I want to appoint you to the Homeland Security Advisory Council. I said, wow, that is unbelievable. I mean, I didn't lobby for it. I didn't even know what it was, to be honest with you, but I do now. I said, that's a great, great honor, Mr. President. I can't thank you enough. And then I later looked up and found out what it is. It's important. And then I had to say, I got to go. I'm going overtime. I got to get on the radio show. I said, oh, that's right. You start at 6. He's a good man, very nice man. So he just posted on True Social, literally a few minutes ago. I'm proud to announce the formation of my revamped Homeland Security Advisory Council, which is comprised of top experts in their field who are highly respected by their peers. It is a big honor to serve on HSAC, and I appreciate it. And I know the new members, South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster, Mark Levin, Bo Dietl, and Joseph Gruters, who do an incredible job. Undersecretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem's leadership. HSAC will work hard on developing new policies and strategies that will help us secure our border, deport illegal criminal thugs, stop the flow of fentanyl and other illegal drugs that are killing our citizens, and make America safe again. Congratulations to all. Again, I want to thank the president for this honor, for actually thinking of me to do this. As you know, I worked as chief of staff to Attorney General Meese for many years, and I look forward to this. Excuse me, Kristi Noem has been fantastic, absolutely fantastic at Homeland Security as the secretary there. It'll be a great honor to work with her and these other fellows who are have fantastic reputations as well. So, Homeland Security Advisory Council, I looked at it. There were a lot of libs on there before, Mr. Producer. No wonder we wanted to clean it up. Now there'll be us, I guess. And it's a great honor, as I say. He called and said, I want to appoint you. And I said, good. What a great honor. I certainly had no expectation, but that's wonderful. Look, it was either that or the Kennedy Center, Mr. Producer, you know. No, I'm just kidding. Kidding, joke, kidding. Although, you know what? I can take my wife to the Kennedy Center now. There'll be some actual good entertainment there, you know? Actual, some good entertainment, not entertainment that always has some left-wing agenda or something. So I think that'll be very cool. And there is that. So this issue of Iran that I was just talking about, but I was talking about more than Iran, wasn't I? I was talking about this ideology of the Islamists. And this is something the isolationists and the pacifists and the appeasers who dress up as America first, but really are America last when they're talking about the American empire. That is really a blasphemous statement about your own country. It's utterly un-American. And so when I saw this video, this guy from the West Coast, who I knew was a Democrat, became a Republican, was a billionaire, was very supportive of the president. Does this guy even know what the hell he's talking about? You're literally using the language of our enemies. Not just one enemy, all the enemies. We're not an empire. We don't conquer. We didn't conquer after World War II. That's not who we are. And when you talk about America that way, you're talking about Americans that way. You're talking about the greatest generation. You're talking about the men and the women who fought the Korean War, the Vietnam War, who fought in Afghanistan and Iraq, who have fought all over the world. You're more than disrespecting all of those people. You're condemning them. You're fighting for an empire? Who talks like this? And then they pretend they have a new thought, new thinking. What is that? Retrenchment. That's not new. It's as old as mankind. These are ideologues. They're not even sure why they're ideologues. These are ideologues. You know, it's one thing, and it's important to condemn the ruling class and the establishment for getting us into stupid wars, quote unquote. Our ruling class, our establishment, I have been at war with them since before many of these people knew how to speak the English language. They're much younger than I am. Or many of them were part of the ruling class and defending it. Reagan was not. Trump is not. I am not. They hate me. I don't even go to the Republican convention. Why? I'm probably more welcome at the Democrat convention. But they all show up. While they're whining about the establishment, they always show up. They're always sharing meals with the establishment. They're more than happy to be with the establishment. That's all well and good. There are people in the establishment that I do like. Not again. But that said, the establishment is an institution. For 25 years, I've taken them on. I've written about them. I've talked about them on every platform I'm on. They despise me, and I despise most of them. It's true. So I don't need any lectures from some punks who think they know how the world works, and everybody needs to follow them when they don't know a damn thing. Not a damn thing. Calling your own country an empire is a disgusting disgrace for all the men and women who are fighting for this country and who've died. If you're doing that, you're no better than the CRT crowd, the DEI crowd. You're no better than the 1619 crowd trashing your own country and illegitimately. As I said, it's one thing to talk about a ruling class for a period of time or an establishment or a president, a commander-in-chief. I got it. I'm with you. But you don't attack your whole country because you're attacking the people of the country, the sovereign, while you're pretending to speak for them, while you're pretending to defend them and represent them. But you don't defend and represent anything. Nothing. If the Iranians seek to get a nuclear weapon,
and their mindset as I've said, because they have said it. You and I are supposed to just say, okay, that's all right. No big deal. Because this guy with a podcast, that guy with a blog, that guy with a subscription service, that guy who worked for the Quincy Institute with Soros and Koch, they tell us it's no big deal. Don't worry about it. No big deal. Don't worry about it. So put your whole country on the line, your kids on the line, your grandkids on the line, civilization on the line, to these 7th century throwbacks who've made it more than clear what they intend to do or want to do. And even if they don't use the nukes right away, they will blackmail, they will threaten, they will make sure that others have access to the nuclear weapons. It'll be utterly unmanageable. It'll be completely out of control. I'm not interested. I'm really not in what these people have to say. They're sloganeers. They use the same slogans over and over and over and over again, as if that's effective. Actually, that's a Marxist tactic, the repetition. Warmonger. Wow. You and me, we're the warmongers, not the Iranians. You and me. Oh, okay, excuse me. Drums of war. Oh, that was a tough one. Drums of war. 3 words, makes it much more complicated. The drums of war. So you're supposed to shut up. You're not supposed to actually see with your eyes, hear with your ears, see what they're writing, hear what they're saying. The Islamists, no. Put your head in the sand. Don't worry. The bloggers, the influencers, self-identified. They've assured us that if you actually see and hear what's going on, if you're actually concerned about it, if you remember 9/11, if you remember those 241 Marines in the Marine barracks, if you remember those 2 American embassies that they attacked, if you remember any of this, you're a warmonger. Maybe a neocon. Oh, okay. So that's the best they've got. Slogans. Like they're in 5th grade. Slogans. Never wars. Now these people, many of them say they're people of the Bible. They're people of the Bible. Well, what does the Bible say about forever wars? What does it say? The Bible talks about good versus evil. The Bible talks about how it is a battle for in perpetuity. Because evil doesn't rest just because good says, hey, you know what, we've had enough of these forever wars. Doesn't work that way. The issue isn't forever wars or 45-second wars when the Enola Gay dropped its bomb on Hiroshima. The issue is what's right. The issue is to use right reason, your mind, to figure out what's taking place. It is not noble, it is not righteous to allow a country that keeps saying death to America, death to America, death to America, to develop a nuclear weapon and blackmail us and threaten us and perhaps and likely use it at some point. Those people who brought down those towers hit the Pentagon. They wanted to hit another building in Washington, either the White House or the Capitol, but our heroes took them down in central Pennsylvania. Again, I ask you this. Ask yourself. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. If they had a nuclear missile, a nuclear bomb of any kind, even a dirty bomb, you think they would have used it? You damn well better believe they would have used it. And they would have been happy to go to God in the mushroom cloud with everybody else. There is no mutual assured destruction strategy. It's just their destruction strategy. You listen to these people. If you take them seriously, you take them seriously at your own risk, the risk of your family, and the risk of your country. Again, it's one thing to condemn this excessive interventionism. It's one thing to condemn so-called long wars, never-ending wars, to criticize certain wars. Absolutely. But to condemn your own country as an empire. Everything we stand for, all the men and women who fight for it, because none of them do. None of them do. You talk about chicken hawks. They're just chickens. None of them do. And we're supposed to put our lives and our future, and more than that, our kids and grandkids, their future, at the hands of people. Oh, we promised you. We promised. It's just the Israelis and the Jews are trying to drag us into a war. It's funny. What I read about the Islamists and what comes out of their mouths, of course they always talk about Israel, but they primarily talk about America and the West. America and the West. America and the West. The guy I was just telling you about, this guy, Kudit, he lived in the United States for a period of time. Not in Israel, in the United States. And that is what motivated him to write what he wrote about the West and the United States. And in that book I'm talking about, he doesn't even talk about Israel. He talks about the United States. On 9/11, did Israel have anything to do with some kind of provocation for them to attack us on 9/11? No, none whatsoever. None. They attacked us. Had nothing to do with Israel. Nothing to do with Jews. Israel. No, the United States they wanted to attack, and they hit us. If they had a dirty bomb or chemical weapon or an atomic bomb of some kind, they would have used it. And the whole damn city of New York would have been flattened. Flattened. This isn't fear-mongering. Did we have 9/11 or not? And we always say, never again, we're going to learn from this. And yet we have these mental pipsqueaks who tell you that they're blazing new trails. We've got a brand new ideology here. It's not new, it's old, and it sucks. It's born out of the 1930s and the 1940s. You're not new. You're not even close to new. You're old. And it's failed. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news. Making sense of the headlines.
First item that President Trump is signing is the rescission of 78 Biden-era executive actions.
Making sense of your world.
Could you imagine doing this? I don't think so.
Illuminating the issues every day.
I think he set forward his opinion and the direction he wants to take the country. I'm sure some of this will probably be sorted out by the courts.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Let's say it out loud here.
Making sense of the news.
Traffic still slow on the inner loop between 66 and the 270 spur. Within the delay, there is still an accident on the right side on the inner loop at the Dulles Toll Road. Delays continue through Bethesda and College Park in the inner loop, and the outer loop still heavy from the spur to the Georgetown Pike and from the Springfield interchange to the Wilson Bridge. In Manassas, watch out for crash activity westbound on 29 at Groveton Road. That has traffic jam from Sudley Road. And the earlier accident on Fredericksburg on eastbound 3 at Jefferson Davis Highway cleared, and the lanes have been reopened. Now from GarageDroidPair.com, the WMAL Storm Watch 7 forecast.
Tonight, clear, lows in the 40s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, highs in the mid to upper 70s.
This is my new best friend, Esther. She might look like any normal, playful puppy, but Esther's being raised to become a canine companions for independence assistance dog for a person with a disability. To get there, she needs lots of loving care and attention, plenty of exercise, and good eating habits so that she can live a long and healthy life for her future family. Visit cci.org or call 1-800-572-BARK. Raise a puppy, change a life. You can make a world of difference in the life of a person with a disability.
Vince Colonnese is redefining news talk with The Vince Show.
Hi, I'm Vince Colonnese, host of The Vince Podcast. It's a show with an obsessive focus on what's good for America. I'm bringing you the truth beneath the headlines of all of the nation's top stories. We feature newsmaking interviews with the top guests on the whole planet. And I'll ask the questions you only dream of other interviewers asking. Do you like being informed, engaged, and entertained? Good. You are going to love Vince.
The Vince Show and Vince Podcast. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
What would you give for a child you loved? To make their wish come true? To help them fight a critical illness? Just imagine what you'd do. You see, wishes are so powerful, and you can make them real. You can give a child back their childhood, even change the way they feel. Every single one of us can make the stars align. Because when we come together, hope and joy will shine. Wishes need stars like you. Visit Make-A-Wish at wish.org.
We're the stronger than we look type.
I've had type 1 diabetes since I was 2.
The braver than you think type.
I have to take insulin shots every single day.
The type that will stop at nothing.
No more blood sugar tests.
Absolutely nothing.
No more complications.
Until type 1 becomes type none.
Support JDRF's life-changing research, and one day you'll say, I helped turn type 1 into type none. Join us now at jdrf.org.
When I first learned about the basics of estate planning, it was driven home to me the importance of protecting my family. I recommend using Trust and Will for your own peace of mind. Trust and Will makes protecting your assets easier. Protect what matters to you most in minutes at trustandwill.com. That's right, trustandwill.com. And use offer code MARK, and you'll get 20% off. That's 20% off at trustandwill.
That's a point I was wanting to make from early this morning. Thanks for reminding me. There's VB in JT's chat. You know, not long ago, she was all fucking, you know, calling Rain a Guatemalan monkey or whatever the fuck she was calling her, right? All the fucking fight. And then here they all are now singing Kumbaya. JT begging people to come wish him a happy birthday. He even said, Jarlin Dot, come on. How about it, JT? Your chat isn't about you, your life, or your girlfriend's life. It's about Rusty and VB. You come in, you came into Vegas and that. You even did it on mine here, talking about old people. You guys have no respect for your elders. It's not good. VB's an old fucking bitch. She's a whore. That's all there is to it. Flaunts it right out in front of you. Fucking cheating on her husband. He's whatever. They don't give a fuck. There's no morality there whatsoever. How about it, JT? Why don't you come up and take me one-on-one? Come on up and psychoanalyze Billy Hayden. Bring it. Let's see how far you get. You can't do anything. You had to come in with Gotti and everything. You should have just introduced yourself on your own. The more I think about it, the way Gotti come into my chat when I open, Doug coming up here and doing all that shit for you guys. You have to be careful what you ask for. But there's VB now sucking Rain's ass like a lesbian, a true lesbian. How about it, VB? Now you're all fucking buddy-buddy with a Guatemalan fucking monkey? Huh? You said she looked like a monkey. You know, VB, you're really not that attractive. You're fucking fat and ugly. Puffy fucking bitch. You got pretty hair, and that might be about it. Awful thing to say about a woman. The best thing about it is the fucking head of hair she has. What a fucking cesspool your chat is, JT.
The Middle East has never been more important, never more filled with potential and fraught with peril. Many also believe that Israel's enemies are America's enemies. Christians United for Israel. Christians United for Israel. Founded by my dear friend, our dear friend of the family, Pastor John Heggie, and his lovely family. It's one of America's largest pro-Israel organizations.
Oh, this is my other couch.
Christians United for Israel is leading the charge to help keep Americans on Israel's side. Sadly, it's a battle that's going on in our country right now. This summer joined thousands of us, pro-Israel Americans of all faiths, the 20th annual Christians United for Israel in Washington.
Yeah, VB. Oh, I'm untrollable. I'm untrollable. No, you're not.
Joining Pastor Hagee and so many more of his family.
Well, Wiggin, this is what I noticed when I fucking tuned into his chat. Gotti was up on the panel. Gotti sat there his whole time with a picture of me in his avatar. The whole time he had a picture of me out, my finger in my nose, whatever he did. You know how they like to Photoshop. Because I got him to do me a couple of avatars. So we know he's making that shit. How about it, Gotti? You punk motherfucker. I bet you're mad at me now. There, Great White North. Huh? More than likely, you're that fucking evil McDonald. I'm not even starting to guess. I have a pretty good idea who it is. What a bunch of suck fucks you guys are. Yeah, JT, you and your girlfriend let Gotti sit up on your panel all fucking morning this morning with a picture of me and his avatar. That says a lot, Gotti. Shows what a fucking pussy you are, Gotti. You're a chicken shit. You don't dare take any of us fucking male streamers one-on-one. There ain't many of us. I don't bother Jimbo. And you see what I said about Dougie. I'm really disappointed with that dumb fuck. Come in here, pop up, just say hi. It's like they're trying to rub it in. Nah, you can't do nothing. So fuck you, Doug. Because that's what your wrenches do. Can't do it in your chat, but they go out and fucking cause trouble everywhere else. Wanting to tell people what to think, how to walk, how to talk, when to fart. Be nice. Yeah, VB, I thought what you made up with Rain. She's not a Guatemalan monkey now anymore, or what? Huh? Because that's what you were calling her. How about it, Rain? Huh? JT never brought my name up, but at least, maybe he did it before I tuned into it. He was live for a little bit before I went to. Wasn't until after I shut mine down, I went and I looked, see who was live. How about it, Rain? You fuckers came into my chat. I didn't invite you here. You were new. I see you guys post in Vegas. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. We've already had that discussion. People like Wiggin and that. I talk about new people coming into chat, and these people, as soon as they see somebody new, they jump right on it. They're just so fucking ignorant. People like Mad Jim and Vanguard, all those British fucks. Every single one of them do the same fucking thing. Attack, 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 attack. That's what they do. You Americans are stupid. And they sit there and want to laugh. When they fight amongst themselves. And when I see Doggo Mama with a wrench in there yucking it up, I thought you hated Rusty. I've never heard your voice, Doggo. I don't know who you are. And you want to try to throw in my face. Well, I had respect for you. You don't like me, Doggo. I really don't give a fuck. I don't even know you. Why would I care? A stranger. JC won't turn her camera on. Rain won't turn her camera on. JT won't turn. Gotti won't turn his camera on, but he'll run around and make fun of everybody. He sat up there using he can't be him. He's using my picture. I'm in your fucking head, you punk motherfucker. Like I said, Gotti guzzles Gaydon's goo-goo. That's all there is to it. You want to call me Gaydon? That's what you get. Gaydon's goo-gooing right down your fucking throat, your deep throat in that motherfucker, Gotti, especially on JT's panel this morning with my picture. How about this? How about you, Rusty? Why don't you come on up and take me on? Bring JC with you. Let's see what two strong women do against one strong man. Huh? How about you, DA? Do I look like I'm fat? You call me fat, so have you even seen JC on camera? Well, she turned her camera on during Halloween there, and she is a big woman. She's got fucking thighs that are bigger than mine.
He says Abrego Garcia's family and lawyers haven't talked to him since he was deported.
This inability to communicate with his lawyers is a violation of international law.
Maryland Congressman Andy Harris tells WMAL.
How about it, Gotti?
Company,
Come on, I don't care. You use my picture.
Back where he belongs, and it should just be left that way.
Harris says Abrego Garcia is an MS-13, which his attorneys deny. Van Hollen says...
Yeah, this thing with Q45, she's all fucking buddy with that guy.
Abrego Garcia has his day in court. We're learning more about a fatal pedestrian crash.
You're fucking out there, VB.
Killed a 74-year-old woman.
You really are out there. It's amazing. All the cat fighting, between you and Rusty and the thing with Jay. You guys are just so fucked up. You think I want something like that?
Police are still investigating. No word on whether the driver will face charges.
VB, you'll never match up to the women I've been with. I'll tell you that right now.
Green for cars and are green for pedestrian. I don't think maybe that's a good idea to be both green for both.
Claudia Seidel lives nearby the intersection of 6th and M Southwest. Seidel tells
You come in here and you act like you have some fucking, you're the moral compass. You want to advise everybody what to do. This is what I don't like about JC and the rest of you, right? Giving unsolicited advice. I didn't ask your fucking opinion on anything. You guys run your suck fuck, and I respond to your fucking comments, and you get mad. JC keeps saying that I doxed her daughter. She wants to use that to... Fuck you, JC. You lost the best friend you could have out here, JC. No, I thought that was my nephew showing up on his motorcycle.
Wow. Nobody.
JC, come on up. Be the first one to go backstage with me privately. Well, you wouldn't be the first one. Gotti did it, and then here come that fucking idiot Rob Noxious. Yeah, I fucking got you pretty good, didn't I, Rob Noxious, when I cloned you? You thought for sure that was Wiggin that whole for a whole day. I should have kept going with that motherfucker. Remember that? Rob Noxious?
Also go on the inner loop between the Leesburg Pike and the 270 spur, but the earlier crash at the Dulles Toll Road now cleared. More delays on the inner loop from 270 to New Hampshire Avenue and from Route 1 at College Park.
I see. I didn't frequent his chat. Well, I stayed out of him. And it was for this reason right here. Go ahead and make a story up. How about it, Gotti? Why are you using my picture on JT's chat? Why would you use my picture? Gotti? Huh? Thinking that I wasn't watching or hoping that I was. I don't know.
Evening. Clear and cool with temperatures down to 54 to 58 degrees. Not as cold overnight, about 44 to 50 degrees. Either your Friday.
I still haven't made a cup of coffee. I got to go put some water on and make a cup of coffee. I'm going to. As soon as Levin, it's almost there. My joint went out. Ashtray and lighters over on the other table.
Mark Levin.
If you don't like the radio, JC, don't listen. Mute it. Read my side chat, JC. Should be able to hear that.
Hello, America. Mark Levin here. Our number, 877-381-3811, 877-381-3811. This is breaking right now. Reuters, Ukraine and the United States today signed a memorandum as an initial step towards the clinching of an agreement on developing minerals in Ukraine, says Ukraine's first deputy prime minister and economy minister. We're happy to announce the signing with our American partners of a memorandum of intent, which paves the way for an economic partnership agreement and the establishment with the investment fund for the reconstruction of Ukraine. You know, if this is accurate, that's Trump who's done this. And it will incredibly benefit the United States. We won't need to rely on China for these rare earth minerals. Certainly not all of them, because Ukraine has many of them. It's also in Ukraine's best interest, as I would say and have said here and on television over and over again, because now America has an economic stake and a significant one in Ukraine. But as far as America goes, this is a big deal. None of this would be happening if Donald Trump wasn't president. Now, I don't want to get my hopes way, way, way high, but I do want them to be there a little bit. I don't think this announcement would be made unless the United States signed off on it. But this will be a terrific event if it occurs. It looks like the beginning steps have been taken. That's very, very important. President Trump in the Oval Office today, the reports out there, I don't jump with all these reports. I don't trust them all. I don't know who to trust in the media. So when in doubt, just hold back, and I let things sort of digest out there. And there's a report that he called off Netanyahu and Israel, who were prepared to attack the nuclear sites in May in Iran. And the usual sloganeer said, well, thanks God they didn't do that, tell you. Okay. I'm telling you what, some people are putting their careers on the line by siding with the enemy. They say they're not, but they are. By giving aid and comfort to the enemy with what they post and what they say they're not, but they are. Here's the deal. You and I elected Donald Trump. That's who we voted for. Nobody else. Not any of the advisors, not anybody else. It was Donald Trump. That's who we voted for. Why? Because we know he has the smarts, the cunning, the experience to do the right thing. All these Lilliputians who are trying to influence him. I don't try and influence him. I say what I believe. Sometimes they'll ask me what I think about a certain thing. I'll call or whatever. I just say what I think. And I say what I believe. These other people actually believe they run the office of the presidency. It's repulsive to me. Repulsive to me. They don't, they can't, and they won't. Donald Trump is the president, and he'll make the final decision, and he always does. Anyway, so this issue was raised in the Oval Office this afternoon, and you can hear for yourself what the president has to say. He's saying the same thing he always says. Look, I'd rather not do any of this. I want a deal. It's going to be very difficult and complicated how you get a deal in such a truncated period of time when these people cheat and lie and have no intention of actually surrendering their nuclear program. And this is what they did with Obama. This is what they did with Biden. This is what they'll do. They've done it with the UN. They've done it with Europe. They're not even supposed to be this close to having a nuclear weapon, but look, they do. Cut one, go.
President, reports that the EU off the Israeli attack on Iranian nuclear facilities. Can you comment on that? Is that accurate?
And they said the attack is what?
That you waved off an Israeli plan to attack Iranian nuclear facilities.
I wouldn't say waved off. I'm not in a rush to do it because I think that Iran has a chance to have a great country and to live happily without death. And I'd like to see that. That's my first option. If there's a second option, I think it would be very bad for Iran. And I think Iran is wanting to talk. I hope they're wanting to talk. It's going to be very good for them if they do. And I'd like to see Iran thrive in the future, do fantastically well. I know the Iranian people, they're incredible people. Always have been very smart, very energetic, very successful people. And I don't want to do anything that's going to hurt anybody. I really don't. But Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. It's pretty simple. It's really simple. We're not looking to take their industry. We're not looking to take their land. All we're saying is you can't have a nuclear weapon. The deal that was made with Obama, and that deal would have expired already. It was a terrible deal. It would have expired, and that gave them a clear path to a nuclear weapon. I wouldn't have accepted. That's why I terminated the deal. Number one, it was way too short. When countries are involved, you don't make short-term deals. These are countries with long lives. And I terminated that. And it was a great termination because it didn't allow us to do anything once it terminated. You know what the deal was. It was a terrible deal. It really one of many terrible deals made by the U.S. But no, I'd like to see Iran thrive. And they can do that, I think, very easily, or they can do it the other way. The other way is not going to be good for them. It's going to be really bad for them.
I'll tell you a little bit of an interesting story about that. Several years ago, when he got out of that deal, he signed the documents stating that that deal effectively was now null and void, that we were withdrawing from it. And he's right. If he hadn't done that, as of right now, they would have such a weapon, and they would have had it with the sanction of the United States, Europe, and the United Nations. So, unknown to me, invited a few of us. Sounds like I'm with him all the time. I'm almost never with him. I try not to bother the president. Other people are bothering him. I try not to do it. It's not my place. And at his home in New Jersey, his golf club there, and he goes downstairs and he says, "Mark, come with me." And there's a group of people down there. And I think it was Sunday, and he's taping a video for Monday. He said, "You're going to like this." And there he is signing the document withdrawing from the Obama deal. And he signs it in front of all these people, and then he says, "Mark, come here." I said, "Okay." And he hands me the pen. Did I ever tell you that, Mr. Producer? He hands me the pen that he uses to sign the document withdrawing from that Iranian Obama nuclear deal. And by the way, I wonder if these so-called influencers and podcasters and subscription guys and all the rest of them, if they think he did the right thing. Do they? God, I'd love to debate one of these guys. I really would. Really. One of their big guys. And so that pen is framed. I handed it to my stepson, because this is an area that he works on very hard. And it hangs on the wall. Hangs on the wall. And he was right to get out of that deal. I just wonder if these Lilliputians, these appeasers, these pacifists who talk about the American empire, I wonder if they agree with him, that he should have gotten out of that deal. Nobody ever presses them. Nobody ever presses them. Tammy Bruce, our dear friend, she's the State Department spokesperson for Rubio. At a briefing today, cut 2, go.
Right. The bright red line is that Iran will not have a nuclear weapon. That is unacceptable. That's been President Trump's statement from the start. Now, one could ask if you need enriched uranium at 60% for a peaceful program. I'm not in those negotiations. I don't know what questions will be asked, but that is the bright red line.
She's very shrewd, because she knows they don't. And getting from 60 to 90%, which is nuclear grade uranium, literally takes a week to 10 days once you hit 60%. So the plateau, if you can get it to 60%, you can get it easily from 60 to 90%. And that's what people are concerned about now, because they're well above 60%. They're well above 60%. And they're very close to 90%. And they can hit 90% really almost any time they want. They're trying to figure out whether to do that, whether Trump will hit them, drag us through prolonged negotiations. They're trying to figure out how to handle this, as is the president. But Tammy Bruce is exactly right. The president's exactly right. I guess they're warmongers too, Mr. Producer. Any of you who believe Iran should not get a nuclear weapon, any of you who believe that it may come down to Israel taking out their nuclear sites with our backing, are obviously warmongers who want war. That's the logic of these people. That's their sloganeering. The drums of war. Drums of war. It's the drums of terrorism. It's the drums of 9/11. It's the drums of the Marine barracks. where 241 Marines were slaughtered in their sleep. Don't they care about these people?
Guatemalan monkey.
And I can go on and on about whose drums are drumming. We don't believe in the drums of war. We don't believe in empire. We're Americans. Don't you dare project onto us the enemy's ideology when it is you who are giving aid and comfort to the enemy, not us. It is you. If they get a nuclear weapon, it'll be on the influencers, among others, as far as I'm concerned. I'll be right back.
Mud Labin. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Hey, weekend warriors, how's a little trail therapy sound right now? Hop in. Let's go for a ride in the all-new Nissan Armada Pro 4X. Tune out all those work emails. Turn up that twin-turbo V6 engine. Instead of letting the kids play online, show them some epic inclines. Turn your 8-person family dinner into an exhilarating off-road adventure. The all-new Nissan Armada is here. Intelligent four-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions.
Why did I wait so long to see a retina specialist?
Retinal disease can steal your eyesight, but it doesn't have to. Patients who seek care from a retina specialist have the best chance of preventing vision loss due to age-related macular degeneration or diabetic retinopathy. AMD symptoms to look out for are distortion or warping of straight lines, as well as blurred or loss of central vision. Patients with diabetic retinopathy should seek treatment if they notice the appearance of spots or floaters or blurred and distorted vision. Visit seeforalifetime.org.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with all service members and their families. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Making sense of your world.
This is no conspiracy theory. This is a fact. Here it is.
Mark Levin, weekdays 6 to 9 p.m.
Listen to this, would you?
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news. Your phone has a lot of apps, but how many of them help you make sense of your world? The new WMAL app gives you the latest headlines, perspective from the voices you trust, and weather info to keep you in the know, all without having to remember yet another password.
Yeah, I'm all right with that.
Stream your favorite shows, get the day's top headlines, and access our podcast archives, all with the new WMAL app.
Thank you.
Get the WMAL app today on Google Play or the Apple App Store, and stay connected. Clarity and context for a complex world.
I'm going to be far more thorough and specific than ever before.
News Talk 105.9. Making sense of the news.
Today's students are tomorrow's great thinkers and innovators. But right now, millions of kids don't have the supplies they need. Donor Shoes is a nonprofit that lets you support students and teachers in your community and beyond. Learn more at donorshoes.org.
The Putting on Airs podcast is half redneck, half posh. Ain't you fancy for being a fan? Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Hi, I'm Erica, an English major at Hillsdale College. Here's Hillsdale President Dr. Larry Arnn with a Constitution Minute.
The human soul is made to learn, and the highest things of life are the best things to learn. One of these, it turns out, is the way we govern ourselves, and one of the best examples of that is the Constitution of the United States. It explains what our government should look like and how it should function to best protect our rights. It was created to give us the freedom to make choices about the way we wish to live. Unfortunately, most colleges and universities today fail to teach our Constitution. When they do, they often denigrate it. This is dangerous because it is impossible to preserve our liberty if we don't understand where it comes from and how to protect it. Having a proper civics education is essential to preserving our freedom.
To learn more and get a free pocket constitution, visit constitutionminute.com.
This Constitution Minute was furnished by Hillsdale College.
Making sense of your world.
Thanks for taking my call.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Greatly appreciated.
Making sense of the news. WMAL. Making sense of education. Because what's happening in your kid's school matters. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
AOC is not only a dunce, she's a coward. We've invited her on this program, have we not, Mr. Producer? I gave an open invitation to join me on Life, Liberty, and Levin. We never heard back. And yet she has a big mouth. It runs all the time. But she's always in hiding. There she is in Missoula, Montana, drawing attention to herself. About Mahmoud Khalil. He didn't do anything wrong. He did a lot wrong. He did a great deal wrong. He's a front for a terrorist organization. He's a mouthpiece for a terrorist organization. He's no longer a student. He used a student visa to come here, got a green card. Oh, he's an upstanding citizen of the United States, or would-be citizen. Exactly what we're looking for. An Islamist. That's what he is. Nothing to do about the First Amendment, everything to do about immigration. If she's the nominee for President of the United States in the Democrat Party, we will mop the floor with her Marxism. She's only just begun to hear what I have to say about her. What's between her ears? Not very much. Cut 8, go.
We are watching as our neighbors, students, and friends are being fired, targeted, and disappeared. It is real.
It's another one. This is what I mean about the goofballs with Iran talk like our enemies. Look at it being disappeared. People being disappeared. Okay? This is not a First Amendment issue. It is not a First Amendment issue. Immigration has a completely different set of factors. The founders knew this. The framers knew this. The Supreme Court knows it. Every administration before Biden, maybe before Obama, but certainly before Biden knew it. And so don't let this BS convince you, oh, wait a minute, he has a right to speak. Of course he has a right to speak. And actually, he has a right to speak out in hateful terms about Israel, about the United States, about Bolivia, whatever he wants. What he doesn't have a right to do is to be pushing directly an agenda of a terrorist organization in the United States. That is verboten as a matter of immigration law, which has been upheld by the Supreme Court. That's what he doesn't have the right to do. Okay? It's not a free speech issue. It's a national security issue. And I don't want to hear all these similar examples. There are no similar examples outside of this context. If you come into the United States and you're going to join a front group or start a front group and be their leader, advancing the cause of Hamas, because that's what he's doing, that's what he was doing, we can kick your ass out of the country. Anybody who understands the rudimentary reasons for immigration, anybody who understands the First Amendment to the Constitution, anybody who understands Supreme Court rulings as they relate to immigration, know this to be the case. Know this to be the case. Go ahead.
People we love are being targeted and harassed for being LGBTQ.
Nobody's being targeted and harassed for being LGBTQ. There's Title IX of the Civil Rights Act. It was put there in 1972. It was put there for a purpose, to give women equal rights when it comes to athletics. And so now you have Donald Trump who's trying to protect them under the Civil Rights Act and the amendment of 1972. And now we're being told that's harassing them. So let me get this straight. Chasing Jews into cafeterias, into dorm rooms where they have to lock themselves, knocking their kippahs off their heads, pushing them to the ground, that's free speech. Promoting Hamas, which is in effect promoting terrorism in America, that's free speech. That's free speech. But upholding the rights of women and girls in athletics under our civil rights statute, that's harassing them and bullying. This is sick. Please do run for higher office, please. You know she is. She's running all over the country with the Stalinist, Bernie Sanders. Another one. Another clown. Go ahead.
U.S. citizens and immigrants alike are being disappeared off the street by men in vans.
Disappeared. You see, this is the phrase. We used to use this phrase for the Stasi, the East Germans. Some of you influencers may want to look that up. We used to use that phrase with the Stasi, disappearing people. We used that phrase with the Communist Chinese. We used it with Stalin. We use it with, dare I say, Putin, which may upset you Putinoids. Disappearing. So you see, she's a Marxist, and she uses the language of Marxism to attack Trump. Disappearing people off the streets. Wow, where are they going? Let me ask you something, Ayach. What happened to the disappearing of 325,000 unaccompanied minors? Where did they disappear to, lady? How about all the women sold into sex slavery? Whatever happened to the feminist groups and the women groups? Huh? Who disappeared them, lady? Why don't you tell us? You're a fraud and a phony and a fool. Please do run for a higher office. Your party will get slaughtered. I'll be right back.
The following heartwarming yet informative scene is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Son, your grandpa and I used to work on this car together, and when I'm gone, I want you to have it.
Wow, thanks, Dad. Doesn't count. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you, you can easily create a state-specific, legally valid document that actually counts. Now, let's let the engine do the talking, am I right? Start your will at trustandwill.com. Use offer code MARK for 20% off and make it count. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. For details, see trustandwill.com.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
Oh, it's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/life. That's ethos.com/life.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
In Maryland, on the Beltway, inner loop in Bethesda, slow from Old Georgetown Road to Georgia Avenue. College Park inner loop is jammed up between Route 1 and the BW Parkway. Landover inner loop is stop and go between Landover Road and Ritchie Marlborough Road. Outer loop of the Beltway in Landover, slow from Landover Road to Route 50. Into College Park on the outer loop, you'll find it slow from 95 interchange to New Hampshire Avenue. And back at Bethesda on the outer loop, you'll find it slow from River Road to the Cabot John Parkway. And now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Storm Watch 7 forecast.
Tonight, clear, lows in the 40s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, highs in the mid to upper 70s.
As a young adult at this point in your life, you probably have a lot of questions. Like, what's next? What does my future hold? The thing is, there's no right answer, only your answer. Your friendships, experiences, and purpose. It's all your choice. So what will you choose? As you make choices about the future, the military can be a resource for information to help bring a fulfilling path into focus. A public service message from the Department of Defense. To learn more, visit todaysmilitary.com.
For a local news source you can trust, visit WMAL.com.
Thank God for that.
Get the day's top stories. Stream your favorite WMAL shows. Access our podcast archives and more. WMAL.com. Making sense of your world online. Clarity and context for a complex world.
I'm going to be far more thorough and specific than ever before.
News Talk 105.9. Making sense of the news.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke. When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
I was choosing alcohol over my family. That's when I made the call. Now I'm finding better ways to cope.
Mental health care works when you make the call. Visit mentalhealthcareworks.org. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
Why did I wait so long to see a retina specialist?
Retinal disease can steal your eyesight, but it doesn't have to.
All right, I'm going to correct Vanguard on your panel, JC. You don't get vitamin D from the sun. You need sunlight to hit your skin so your body chemically can absorb the vitamin D and make and calcium. You don't get vitamin D from the sun. Milk is fortified with vitamin D and calcium together. Gotti, go tell your friend Vanguard he's full of shit. He just said you only get vitamin D from the sun. No, you don't. But certain rays from the sun, when it hits your skin, your body, right? You have your body's one giant chemical walking fucking being. Your skin is your largest organ on your body, inside and out. You don't get vitamin D from sunlight. It's fortified in milk, you dumb fucker. The simplest fucking farming tool right there. Vitamin D. No, Gotti, I'm not giving you a link. Fuck you, Gotti. You'll never come up on my panel, Gotti. You're fucking done here, boy. You'll never be on my panel. You're in confinement, Gotti. You're not coming up on my panel. This is one panel. You don't fucking rule shit. You go ahead and cry. I'm here to moderate the people who have a different opinion with you, and you won't fucking put yourself out there. But you want to fucking use everybody. You're not using me no more, you punk motherfucker. I knew what you were doing right from the fucking... You ain't going to do shit. Go back to JC's chat where you belong, or, go ahead. Because I'm going to play my radio, and I'm going to... You don't get fucking vitamin D from the sun. You get it from milk. He doesn't know how it works. Sunlight allows your body to digest and utilize. What a dumb fucker. The fuck?
There's a little good faith and no credit. It's paper. It's paper money.
See, he does his own commercials.
The gold standard. Richard Nixon took us off the silver standard. Now we have no standard. I remember once Milton Friedman saying, at least we ought to have some standard, even if it's peanuts, something.
Gotti.
Commodity, but we have none.
You see that? You see that right there, Gotti? Yeah. I'd fucking club you.
And so gold is the gold standard. It's the gold standard. It stood the test of time, not for decades, but for thousands and thousands of years. It's a real asset. It's not a promise on paper. Doesn't get wiped out when stock markets crash or bond markets crash. If the Fed makes bad decisions, adding gold to your portfolio, such as your retirement, is one of the most powerful ways to help protect your savings. And Advantage Gold is the company I trust to help you do it the right way. I've dealt with many of these gold companies. Advantage Gold is by far the best. I'm just giving you my opinion. They'll show you how to legally move your IRA or 401k into physical gold or some parts of it in silver, no gimmicks. Just solid protection and peace of mind. Give them a call. They're there right now. Give them a call, 800-900-8000. They don't bite. They can't force you to do anything, and they wouldn't anyway. That's 800-900-8000, 800-900-8000. It's never too late to make your portfolio stronger, smarter, and more secure, folks. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional. But again, that's 800-900-8000, 800-900-8000. I encourage you to take a look. It would be a good thing. Well, I've got quotes here from Democrats trashing tariffs. Democrats used to love tariffs. And so that's probably a little monotonous, so I don't really want to go there, but I'll tell you where I do want to go. To Harvard. I don't mean go. I mean, let's go there. To Harvard. $53 billion in endowment. That's contributions over the decades. If it's not the oldest, it's one of the oldest colleges in the United States. It has destroyed itself internally. It continues to destroy itself. Its standards are almost non-existent. With DEI, with all kinds of changes and ideological changes, no longer a straight focus on education, scholarship, intellectual diversity, that sort of thing. It's a mess. It's run now by Claire Shipman. She's the acting. Claire Shipman used to be an ABC News reporter, as I recall. Her husband is the little fellow. George Stephanopoulos, the dwarfite. May I say dwarfite, Mr. Producer? May I make up a word? Mr. Producer won't even comment on that. He's very nervous. Dwarfite. And she's running the place now, and she's, hey, look, we're not going to be bullied here. If we want to promote anti-Semitism, well, by God, that's what we're going to do. And if we want racist discrimination called DEI, well, by God, that's what we're going to do. Screw a colorblind society and screw the Jews. What do we care? Well, she would say, I would never say such things. But you're doing such things. You're doing such things. If you are an anti-Semite or a racist, Harvard is the place for you. It is. It's the place for you. Go, enjoy. Look at this, Mommy, Daddy, I got into Harvard. Oh, it's not what it used to be. You gonna frame that letter and put it on your wall? Now, one day it'll be viewed as racists and anti-Semites are viewed from so many other parts of our society today. But there's Senator Ed Markey. Ed Markey was a radical left-wing kook, an American Marxist. He spent a lifetime in the House until he's spending a lifetime in the Senate. He does a bad imitation of a Kennedy. Ed Markey. That's right. They're extorting Harvard. No, nobody's extorting Harvard. You don't get any money. You're going to push this crap. You don't do enough to stop it. You don't have a God-given right to $2.2 billion in taxpayer dollars. Let me ask you folks something. The vast majority of you don't have kids or grandkids that have gone to Harvard, do you? The vast majority of you didn't even go to college, let alone a four-year college and graduate. Some of you did. Most of you didn't go to Harvard. This isn't about jealousy or anything like that. My point is simple. Why do the American people have to subsidize Harvard that's sitting on $53 billion in tax-exempt monies? What about the hospitals and the research? What about them? Spend some of your $53 billion. What are you hoarding it for? What are you saving it for? So Donald Trump has said, no more $2.2 billion, and we're going to withdraw your tax status. Why? For the very reason the gentleman said, the lawyer who I've had on these airwaves and on Fox, who's now very popular, who's been litigating, for the very reason he said. Bob Jones was a school, I believe it was in North Carolina, where they opposed and taught against interracial marriage. And so they lost their tax-exempt status. And so if you're a university that either looks the other way or doesn't do enough to stamp out anti-Semitism, violating the civil rights of Jewish people, well, then you lose your tax-exempt status too. Now, I know the anti-Semites out there, you can't do that. But I said, then go to Harvard. You're going to love it there. You can march together. You can chant River to the Sea together. Yeah, you'll have a blast. You can burn the American flag, burn the Star of David. You can do all that. Yeah, y'all have a blast. Go to Harvard. That's okay. Here's Ed Markey on the Constipated News Network, CNN today. Cut 13, go.
Universities should be following Harvard's lead. Other law firms should be following Wilma Hale's
That's right. They should put racism and push anti-Semitism. Follow Harvard's lead. Harvard was no better, by the way, in the late 20s and 30s with the rise of Nazism and Hitler. I've explained that too. They had open arms for Nazi professors. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's been written about. The influencers and the podcasters out there are going to love this. Oh, yeah. I'm surprised they're not praising Harvard. I really am. I mean, you've got this sort of fusion, as I said, between Marxism and Islamism. And you've got this fusion between the isolationist, pacifist appeasers of the enemy and the Marxists and the Islamists. They talk the same way. American empire. Anyway, go ahead.
They should stand up and fight because otherwise...
Stand up and fight what? For racism and anti-Semitism? So you and I should give them $2.2 billion in tax-exempt status? Look, folks, this is my point. We would never subsidize the Klan. We would never subsidize people who support the Confederacy and their institutions. And I'll be damned if we should be subsidizing Harvard, which is promoting in their... majority of them, we call them members of the media. Oh, yeah. Nobody's stopping them from speaking or talking. Nobody. Go ahead.
It's actually doing is running an extortion racket across this nation.
Oh, it's an extortion racket to tell somebody they don't get federal funding because they're promoting anti-Semitism and DEI. That's an extortion racket. Dumb bastard. Excuse my French. Shouldn't use the word dumb on this guy. You know, we've got a lot more. I'll be right back.
Mud Blubbin. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
What's up, everyone? It's Trevor Sikkema here from the PFF NFL show, here to get you ready for the 2025 NFL Draft. We're dropping PFF podcast episodes 3 times a week with the rankings, sleepers, team fits, mock drafts, and more, powered by the same data used by all 32 NFL teams. If you want a deeper insight into this year's class and how it all shapes up on draft day, we've got you covered. Become a smarter draft fan right now on the PFF NFL podcast. The PFF NFL podcast, part of the Believe Network. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST, F, face drooping, A, arm weakness, S, speech difficulty, T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Happy kids heal faster. That's why Starlight Children's Foundation delivers happiness through gaming, toy deliveries, and more to hospitals across the country. Learn more at starlight.org.
This is Women's Work with Nicole Khalil. I would rather have the temporary pain of discomfort than the avoidable pain of regret. There are too many of us that we're waiting for someday, and the clock is ticking. Redefining what it means to be doing women's work.
Make sense of this wild, chaotic, and beautiful world and your place in it. That is women's work.
This is Women's Work from Believe. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Making sense of your
Check the
world.
battery on this
the
fucker. I better plug
Stream
it
your
in.
favorite shows, get the day's top headlines, and access our podcast archives, all with the new WMAL app.
This is for you.
Get the WMAL app on Google Play or the Apple App Store and stay connected.
Bravo TV star Lala Kent holds nothing back.
There's been so many times where I'm like, I apologize that I said that, but that wasn't meant for you to hear.
Feel you there.
How fun would it be to bring in some Bravo celebrities and make our own bracket?
Iconic.
All right, I'll take Dorinda, you take Sonia.
Sonia is who I wish I could be.
You and me both. I cannot be someone in the program. What's PTO?
Paid time off. See,
Oh.
you've never had a real job.
Give them Lala.
It is nothing but honesty.
You guys know.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Making sense of your morning.
Lots of coverage here on that developing story.
O'Connor and Company. Weekday mornings from 5 to 9.
Larry O'Connor here getting you through your morning.
Making sense of Washington.
Asking some very specific questions, some legitimate questions.
Making sense of the double standard.
Then here's the latest example.
Making sense of the headlines.
Let me break it down for you because there's plenty to break down here.
O'Connor and Company with Larry O'Connor. Mornings from 5 to 9. News Talk 105.9. WMAL. Making sense of the news.
Free phone game by Big Wireless that comes with a lot of fine print, like requiring you to sign up for 4 lines plus activation fees. And the end of the day, you paid for that free phone 3 times over. Pure Talk is my sponsor, my wireless company. They have a much better offer with a qualifying plan of just $35 a month. You can get a brand new Samsung Galaxy A26 for free. All you need to do is switch to Pure Talk. For just $35 a month, you get unlimited talk, text, 15 gigs of data, more than you'll ever need, with mobile hotspot, all on one of America's most dependable 5G networks. Dial pound 250, say keyword Mark Levin, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team will help you switch in as little as 10 minutes. That's pound 250, say Mark Levin, for your free Samsung Galaxy with qualifying plan from Pure Talk. Wireless by Americans, for Americans.
Making sense of your world.
There are a lot of things that really tick me off.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news. WMAL. Making sense of the forecast. Because you never know what Mother Nature has in store. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
Uh-oh, I hurt my perfect record for accuracy, Mr. Producer. Let's get these relationships straight. And the presidents of these fine college institutions. Number 1, Alan Garber is the president of Harvard. Not Claire Shipman. There is a similar look, but they are different. Number 2, Claire Shipman, I believe formerly of ABC, she is the acting president of Columbia. She's not married to the little fella, George Stephanopoulos. She's married to Jay Carney. Remember him? Another press mouth spokesman. Now, George Stephanopoulos, the little fella, he's married to actress Ali Wentworth. Do we have all this straightened out? All these colleges, all these universities. Did I get that right, Mr. Producer? I mean, you need a scorecard around here. In today's unpredictable world, Byrna offers a smarter, safer way to protect yourself. It's BYRNA. I want you to remember this. This is a fantastic company with a fantastic product. Trusted by over 500 government agencies, the Byrna less lethal pistol launcher, it's a pistol-shaped weapon, is designed to incapacitate attackers without permanent harm, giving you time to escape or get help. Take Lauren's story. Confronted by an aggressive man who wouldn't get the hell out of his face, despite attempts to de-escalate, Lauren was thankful for his Byrna launcher. One shot incapacitated the guy, allowing police to intervene without any suffering, any irreparable harm. Byrna, B-Y-R-N-A, is legal across all 50 states, requires no background checks, ships right to your door. It's the perfect product. It's proudly assembled in the United States in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Over 500,000 units have been sold. And for you, my listeners, get 10% off at Byrna.com/Levin. That's BYRNA.com/LEVIN. Byrna.com/Levin. Protect yourself. Protect your family. The smart way Weberna. Must be 18 and older. That's BYRNA.com/LEVIN. What a fantastic. I've got one. Oh, look, I have 5 pistols too. You got a 357. I've got a 38 snub nose, which is actually my favorite. You know, pull the trigger, works first time every time. Got other more exotic weapons and so forth. But I've got the burner, and I don't have to worry about it, if you know what I mean. I don't have to worry about people around it, that sort of thing. And it is actually very cool. Looks cool, operates very easily. You're going to love this. You're going to love it. That's Berna, BYRNA.com/Levin, LEVIN. Don Lemon is hanging around like a bad thigh rash. And he's hanging out with Jim Acosta, a hemorrhotic, a.k.a. a bleeding hemorrhoid. And they're both there with Michael Cohen, a multiple confessed felon. So these 3 stooges are at a town hall yesterday. What is with these people? They're going to town hall. You got AOC, and you've got Bernie the Red. It's like Trotsky and Stalin out on the trail. And everybody's going to have to, and everybody, shut up, old man, sit down. Keep your raincoat on and keep your pants up. Anyway, here's Don Lemon on a Jim Acosta town hall yesterday. Cut 14, go.
What Donald Trump does is a show. Every single day, you have to realize from morning till the end, till midnight, it's a show that is produced like a...
Well, how will you know what Donald Trump does from morning to midnight unless you're doing the same thing, moron? Donald Trump does. And the last person to know what Donald Trump is probably Don Lemon, don't you think? Go ahead.
Show. Every single day. And so when in the
one, but yeah.
In the morning, they give the message on Fox and Friends, and then they carry it all throughout the day on Fox News, and then they carry it on conservative radio throughout the day, saying the same talking points.
Oh, I see. Same talking points. I love Fox and Friends. It's too bad I don't get to watch it as much as I would like to. Now, Mr. Producer, you've been working with me almost 25 years. Do I get talking points from anybody? Do I even watch most of these shows? No. Do I listen to most other shows? No. No, he's talking about himself as Don Lemon in the Constipated News Network, in MSLSD, in the New York Slimes, in the Washington Compost. I mean, how many times have we done audio where they all say the same thing? Chaos, 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 chaos. Constitutional crisis, constitutional crisis, it goes on and on. These people breed with each other. They socialize with each other. So I don't know what they're talking about, talking points. You see, on radio in particular, I'm here 3 hours. You hear me for 3 hours minus commercials and other breaks. You can't fake this. Maybe you can fake a little TV here and there or something like. You can't fake this. This is 3 hours of me and you. That's what it is. You either know what you're doing or you don't. You know what you're saying or you don't. If you're sitting here with talking points, you're finished. You're not going anywhere. Well, maybe some of the podcasters do that, even though I don't even think they do that. You know, they're more truncated, maybe an hour, something like that, but I don't think they do that. The talking points are on the left. The talking points are with the left-wing media, and they get them from the Democrats. So I don't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Doesn't matter. Clapping seals. Yes, yes, Don, yes. So there they are, the 3 stooges of nothing. Costa lost his job. You lose your job on CNN. I mean, that's pretty low. Doesn't get much lower unless you lose your job on like MSNBC. Or maybe you lose your job and you no longer appear on airport radar or sonograms. That's like, that's like Chris Wallace. That's pretty low. And there they are with Michael Cohen. So they're there. So Don Lemon and Jim Acosta have lowered themselves to Michael Cohen's level. He's their colleague. He's their colleague. Maybe they're an indicted co-conspirator. I don't know. But Jim Acosta is an idiot. He's never said an intelligent thing in his life. He's just a blowhard. Don Lemon, was removed because he's worse than a blowhard. He's an ignoramus. So he's removed. And there's Michael Cohen, a confessed multiple felon. And there they are at a town hall meeting. Where were they having this town hall meeting? Really? At the Star Wars bar? Who would even show up for this other than family and the 3 or 4 friends that they had? These are people who couldn't get ratings. In the case of Cohen, he couldn't get an audience for anything. But there they are. Go ahead.
Levitt goes into the briefing room. She yells at the reporter. She does something.
You guys don't like Caroline Levitt, is it?
That's Michael Cohen cursing. Did Michael Cohen spend time in prison? I think he did. I wonder if he met a guy named Bruce. Do you think he did, Mr. Bruce? Not Bruce. What am I? I have a buddy named Bruce. No. Somebody else. I'll be right back.
Making sense of your world.
Greatly appreciated.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
I love listening to you.
Making sense of the news. Illuminating the issues.
There's a whole lot missing here in this story, isn't there?
Every day.
Why are we the only ones reporting this?
News Talk 105.9. Making sense of the news.
This is Women's Work with Nicole Khalil. I would rather have the temporary pain of discomfort than the avoidable pain of regret. There are too many of us that we're waiting for someday, and the clock is ticking. Redefining what it means to be doing women's work.
Make sense of this wild, chaotic, and beautiful world and your place in it. That is woman's work.
This is Women's Work from Believe. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Bright Focus Foundation's Alzheimer's Disease Research Program is paving the way for a cure. Learn about symptoms, diagnosis, and breakthrough research at brightfocus.org or call us at 1-855-345-6237 for free resources.
This is my new best friend, Esther. She might look like any normal, playful puppy, but Esther's being raised to become a canine companions for independence assistance dog for a person with a disability. To get there, she needs lots of loving care and attention, plenty of exercise, and good eating habits so that she can live a long and healthy life for her future family. Visit cci.org or call 1-800-572-BARK. Raise a puppy, change a life. You can make a world of difference in the life of a person with a disability.
Award-winning series from Imperative Entertainment, In the Red Clay.
Before it's all said and done, more than 50 people will be dead at the hands of one man alone. The most notorious man you've never heard of.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
As a young adult at this point in your life, you probably have a lot of questions. Like, what's next? What does my future hold? The thing is, there's no right answer, only your answer. Your friendships, experiences, and purpose. It's all your choice. So what will you choose? As you make choices about the future, the military can be a resource for information to help bring a fulfilling path into focus. A public service message from the Department of Defense. To learn more, visit todaysmilitary.com.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington. A Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now.
Shots fired on a college campus. Signed Lee Silicera, Fox News. 2 people dead and 6 hurt after a gunman opened fire on the campus of Florida State University in Tallahassee. Leon County Sheriff Walt McNeil says the suspect, 20-year-old Phoenix Eichner, is the son of a sheriff's deputy and used one of her former service weapons.
The alleged shooter was also a long-standing member of the Leon County Sheriff's Office Citizen Advisory or Youth Advisory Council. So he has been steeped in the Leon County Sheriff's Office family.
The gunman was shot and wounded by officers and is now at hospital. The motive for the shooting is not yet known. An Afghan teenager accused of taking part in a plot in Oklahoma to carry out an attack on Election Day has pled guilty. Federal prosecutors say Abdullah Hajizada, who was living in the city of Moore, pled guilty to knowingly receiving and conspiring to receive a firearm and ammunition to be used in a terrorist attack. He faces up to 15 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. A federal appeals court judge says the Trump administration's claim that it can't do anything to free Kilmar Abrego Garcia from a prison in El Salvador and return him to the U.S. should be shocking.
The administration had tried to appeal a lower court's order for sworn testimony from officials to see if they had complied after she said they must facilitate his return. The appeals court panel, led by a Reagan-era appointee, Judge J. Harvey Wilkinson, has said no to the administration. Wilkinson wrote, the government's asserting a right to stash away residents of this country in foreign prisons without the semblance of due process.
Fox's Jill Nato. Abrego Garcia, who was from El Salvador, was detained by ICE agents in Maryland last month and deported back to El Salvador. America is listening to Fox News.
Appeals Court responds. I'm Sharon Reardon from the Novak Motors News Desk. Good evening. A federal appeals court issues a scathing order in response to a request by the Trump administration in the case involving Kilmar Abrego Garcia.
A federal appeals court says the Trump administration's claim that it can't do anything to free Kilmar Abrego Garcia from an El Salvador prison and return him to the U.S. should be shocking. The administration had tried to appeal a lower court's order for sworn testimony from officials to see if they had complied after she said they must facilitate his return. The appeals court panel said no to the administration. Judge J. Harvey Wilkinson wrote, the government's asserting a right to stash away residents of this country in foreign prisons without the semblance of due process. Jill Nato, Fox News.
We're learning more about a deadly pedestrian crash at the wharf that killed a 74-year-old woman yesterday.
DC police say Kathy Turner was walking in a marked crosswalk at the intersection of 6th and M Street Southwest around 3:30 when she was hit by a car turning into the eastbound lanes of M Street. Police tried to save her, but she was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver stayed there. Police are still investigating. No word on whether the driver will face charges. Heather Curtis on WMAL and WMAL.com.
And a student's been charged for making hate crime threats.
The Montgomery County Police Department says detectives from its Behavioral Assessment Unit have charged a 17-year-old male student with making threats against Montgomery County Public School. The threat came via voicemail back in March, with community engagement officers responding to the unidentified school. Detectives say the voicemail threat was directed at the school principal and against certain demographic and religious groups. Barbara Britt, WMAL and WMAL.com.
WMAL News Time is 8:04. I'm Sharon Reardon, and now here's your WMAL traffic and weather from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
Maryland side of the Beltway in Bethesda, inner loop is stop and go from Rockville Pike to George Avenue. Silver Spring inner loop is slow from University Boulevard to the 95 interchange. On the outer loop of the Beltway in Montgomery County, you'll find it slow from New Hampshire Avenue to 193. In Virginia, inner loop in McLean is slow from the Dulles Toll Road to the Claire Barton Parkway. In the outer loop of the Beltway in Alexandria, that's jammed up between the local lane split and the Wilson Bridge. And now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Storm Watch 7 forecast.
Tonight, clear, lows in 40s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, highs in the mid to upper 70s.
Hey, weekend warriors, how's a little trail therapy sound right now? Hop in. Let's go for a ride in the all-new Nissan Armada Pro 4X. Tune out all those work emails and turn up that twin-turbo V6 engine. Instead of letting the kids play online, show them some epic inclines. Turn your 8-person family dinner into an exhilarating off-road adventure. The all-new Nissan Armada is here. Intelligent four-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions.
Pay rent with Built to earn flexible transferable points and unlock exclusive benefits. There's no cost to join, and just by paying rent, you unlock flexible points that can be transferred to your favorite hotels and airlines, a future rent payment, your next Lyft ride, and more. When you pay rent through Built, you unlock 2 powerful benefits. First, you earn one of the industry's most valuable points on rent every month. No matter where you live or who your landlord is, your rent now works for you. Second, you gain access to exclusive neighborhood benefits in your city. Built's neighborhood benefits are things like extra points on dining out, complimentary post-workout shakes, free mats or towels at your favorite fitness studios, and unique experiences that only Built members can access. And when you're ready to travel, Built points can be converted to your favorite miles and hotel points around the world, meaning your rent can literally take you places. So if you're not earning points on rent, my question is, what are you waiting for? Start paying rent through Built and take advantage of your neighborhood benefits by going to joinbuilt.com/WWO. That's JOINBILT.com/WWO. Make sure to use our URL so they know we sent you. Joinbuilt.com/WWO to sign up for Built today.
Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. Mark Levin.
Hello, America. Mark Levin here. Our number, 877-381-3811, 877-381-3811. I hope you're doing well. We're having a good time here. We're pounding away. We're doing what we were born to do. United States Supreme Court, USA Today. Supreme Court will weigh in on Trump plan to restrict birthright citizenship. Now, I would tell the justices, there's absolutely no basis for birthright citizenship in the 14th Amendment, in the history of the 14th Amendment, or anything of the kind. Now, you know you have a decision at the end of the 1800s that you folks on the Supreme Court issued involving legal aliens. You are not tied to that decision, obviously. People say stare decisis, aka precedent. No, you're not tied to that. You have broken that before. But there nowhere is there any precedent for illegal alien children being citizens of the United States. Now, I know this is going to be hard for Hollywood John. I know it's going to be hard for Barrett, who's now the New York Times favorite justice, and that's what she wanted. She's sort of the Harry Blackman, despite her vote in Dobbs. So maybe what you'll have to do is say something like, just to get your majority, from this day forward, when you issue your ruling, there is no such thing as birthright citizenship from this day forward. In other words, you'll grandfather in everybody who's come before. I don't like this, America, but I'm trying to figure out a way to go forward where we can put an end to this sham. It's a sham. It's a sham. So either you're a constitutionalist or you're not, and you're not supposed to be making policy on the Supreme Court. You're being asked to put an end to this under the Constitution. I'm sure even the boys over there at the National Review agree with me on this, but maybe not. Who knows where they stand anymore? I'm just telling you where I stand. There was no basis for it when they first ruled on it into the 1800s. I know why they did it, to reverse the racism coming out of the Congress against Chinese Americans and Chinese immigrants more than anything else, which was horrendous. But they didn't have to do what they did in order to direct that the racism violates the Constitution, the Equal Protection Clause under the 14th Amendment applied to the state. There's many things this court could have done over the years that it hasn't done. The court said it will hear oral arguments on May 15. It's the first challenge to the new administration's policies that the justices have taken up for public discussion. The president said today, I'm so happy. I think the case has been so misunderstood. You know, Trump really is smart. He really is smart. The administration has asked the court to scale back the nationwide actions that judges in Maryland, Massachusetts, Washington issued to pause Trump's order limiting birthright citizenship, and so forth and so on. Again, I want to remind you folks of something. I did this a couple of nights ago, but it was pretty heavy and a lot at one time as I thought about it. During the debates in Philadelphia, the Constitutional Convention, Madison's notes that were released 50 years later, as he promised he would wait. There was a proposal to have a council of the judicial, or judicial council. I think they call it a council of the judicial, doesn't much matter. In any event, where judges from the Supreme Court, aka justices, would sit on this council with this president they were thinking of creating, this executive. And so you would have a committee that would be signing off on the laws, which of course would turn separation of powers on its head And we know Montesquieu had an enormous influence during the constitutional period. So they gave that up, even though Madison supported it, Dickinson supported it, two of the big delegates, Dickinson from Pennsylvania, Madison obviously from Virginia, and there were others. The vast majority of the delegates said, no, that violates separation of powers. We're not going to have the executive and the judicial, doing one and the same thing, even in this regard. So it was quickly and overwhelmingly rejected. And yet, isn't that what we have in many respects today? The Council of the Judicial? Even the fact that you have to go to the Supreme Court to get the Supreme Court's permission to interpret the Constitution, to get the Supreme Court's support to stop the lower courts, if you think about it, is an abomination. Now, at this point, this is what you got to do because this is the way it goes. But people say, well, then who's going to make the final determination? Well, why does it have to be the Supreme Court? Maybe the executive makes the final determination about the executive. Maybe so. Checked by Congress that can pass laws and prevent certain things from taking place. But this was not the plan. What's taking place today? Rather than focusing on the validity of Trump's executive action, the Department of Justice argued that a judge in one part of the country shouldn't be able to block actions nationally. The Justice Department is arguing a position that has always been the position up to about 10 years ago, and then really kicked into gear 5 years ago. When I wrote the book, my first book, Men in Black, when I wrote that book, none of this was going on. I didn't even address it. I didn't even have to address it because it wasn't an issue. But now, of course, they're completely out of control. These judges are rogues. And they're doing grave damage to the public's belief in the legal system. And this and so many other things, as a matter of fact. Kilmar Abrego Garcia of Maryland, they keep saying. Of Maryland. No, he's of El Salvador. But no, he's of Maryland, says the media. Bill Malugin is a real reporter, and he's fantastic. Fantastic. Fox News, meaning he, has obtained the written domestic violence allegations from Kilmar Abreu Garcia's wife in 2021, in which she alleges he is a repeat wife beater, and writes in her own hand, quote, "At this point, I'm afraid to be close to him. I have multiple photos and videos of how violent he can be and all the bruises he has left me." In her own handwriting, she alleges that Abreu Garcia punched and scratched her on her eye. Maybe this is why Van Hollen found him so attractive to run down to El Salvador and defend. What a dumb schmuck that guy is. Leaving her bleeding after throwing her laptop on the floor. She writes that on a... How come? Where are the women's rights groups? Where are the feminist groups? Where the hell are you? Van Hollen's on the side of the abuser. Van Hollen is defending an MS-13 illegal alien who abused his wife. He's defending her, and so are all the Democrats in the media. She writes that on another day, he got angry again, started yelling, and ripped her shirt and shorts off, then grabbed her arm, leaving her marks. Ladies, is that okay? I'm asking you. She also writes that in two times in 2020, he hit her. In November 2020, he hit me with his work boot. And the Democrats want to give this guy Husband of the Year award. In August 2020, he hit me in the eye, leaving a purple eye. And this is posted by Bill Malugin, her handwritten comments on this form. What does AOC think about that? But they're disappearing him. They're not disappearing him. They sent him to a prison in El Salvador. He is a El Salvadorian, if I may say so. An El Salvadorian. He's the Salvadorian. El Salvadorian. Did you know that, Mr. Producer? El in Spanish means the. Did you know that? Anyway, he's the Salvadorian. There he is, El Salvadorian. Well, you can't do that. You're disappearing him, says the genius AOC. You know, I never would have met AOC in her prior life as a bartender. I have no problem with bartenders. I never would have met her because I don't drink. The only thing I drink is when my wife gets a glass of wine, please take a sip, and I take a sip, and that's about it. That's about it. Diet Cokes, pretty much, which of course will kill you, but nonetheless, I drink them, but I drink water too now. Water. So I never would have met the lovely Ayach in her prior life. I never would have met Bernie Sanders in his prior life as a Stalinist member of the Stalinist kibbutz in Israel, as a happy new husband, partying down on his honeymoon in Moscow. My paths never would have crossed with these people. With yours, Mr. Producer? No, don't get me wrong. I'll go to a restaurant where they have a bar and I might get a dinner there or a lunch there or something like that. I'm talking about, the lushes that go to these bars. And I never would have seen her there. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Hey, weekend warriors, how's a little trail therapy sound right now? Hop in. Let's go for a ride in the all-new Nissan Armada Pro 4X. Tune out all those work emails and turn up that twin-turbo V6 engine. Instead of letting the kids play online, show them some epic inclines. Turn your 8-person family dinner into an exhilarating off-road adventure. The all-new Nissan Armada is here. Intelligent four-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions.
When you're in HR, it can feel like nothing is easy. From payroll to PTO, from onboarding to benefits, and everything in between, it's a constant juggle of tasks, systems, and spreadsheets. But your HR software? That's the easy part. Meet Bamboo HR. Trusted by over 34,000 companies, it handles all your HR tasks, payroll, benefits, and time tracking, so your team and your company can grow as fast as, well, Bamboo. And Bamboo HR software is actually easy to use. One simple system that pulls all your people data together in one place, so you can ditch scattered systems and wasted hours on tasks that should only take minutes. Because when HR is easier, you can focus on what matters most, your people. HR is hard. Bamboo HR is easy. Ready to simplify all your HR tasks? For a limited time, get a $100 Visa gift card when you complete a free demo at bamboohr.com/gift card. Again, that's bamboohr.com/gift card. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you got to hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflush.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe, and then it spread and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflush.com. It was the only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflush.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free, so you have nothing to lose. But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflush.com.
School absences are often due to the absence of necessary resources. But when Communities in Schools is present, students are connected to the support they need to show up ready to learn. Visit communitiesinschools.org. Being present matters.
Making sense of your world.
Common sense. Let's get back to common sense.
WMAL's Vince Colonnades, weekdays at noon.
Now that should give you a lot of cause for hope.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Israel's still under attack. This is the reality in the Holy Land, in Israel. Parents taking their children to school, falling to the ground to lay on top of their small children, trying to comfort them as sirens are blaring. The next attack against Israel could be happening as I speak, with little time to prepare, so we must act now, you and me. That's why I'm partnering with the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews to help provide life-saving aid and security essentials. Your urgently needed tax-deductible gift today will immediately help provide security essentials like bomb shelters, flak jackets, bulletproof vests for first responders, armored security vehicles, ambulances, more. It's sad, but they're all needed. Join the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews and me in standing with Israel. Please call to make your tax-deductible gift right away. It's desperately needed. 844-866-IFCJ. That's 844-866-IFCJ. 844-866-IFCJ.
Making sense of your world.
I agree with everything you're saying.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
My heart just breaks for what's going on.
Making sense of the news.
Piper Fighting's John Andrasik has released a new version of his hit Superman on behalf of the Israeli hostages. O'Connor and Company, 5 to 9 a.m. on WMAL.
I'll play the street life because there's no place I can go. Street life, it's the only life I know.
Democrats called to impeach Donald Trump for sending the wife beater back to El Salvador in their prison. So they'll impeach him over anything. These are very evil people. Very evil people. Democrat Cherie Thaninder. Gone are the days of Frank Smith, Mr. Producer. You understand what I'm saying? Democrat Cherie Thaninder, Thanedar. Sure, he's a lovely person. Calls to impeach Trump for sending El Salvadoran illegal immigrant to prison in El Salvador. Yes. He impeached Donald Trump because he sent a wife beater, member of MS-13, who came here illegally back to his home country. So we're going to impeach him for that. Got that? And U.S. District Judge James Bozoberg ruled this week the court has probable cause to hold the Trump administration in criminal contempt regarding all the lovely El Salvadorans who were sent to our country, the gang members, who are pulling fingernails out and stuff like that. Upstanding citizens, no doubt they pay taxes to as they're getting their Social Security. And this is the Democrat Party. They are literally destroying our country. They're literally destroying our country, truthfully. And then you got the screecher AOC. They're disappearing people. Under their watch, hundreds of thousands of kids are missing. Women sold into sex slavery. They don't support the cops. They wanted to defund the cops. This crowd did. But they're very worried about due process for wife beaters. And that's the way Republicans should speak about this now. That's the way, in my view, the White House should talk about this now. The Democrats are demanding that a wife beater be brought back to the United States. Be brought back to the United States where he'd go through the process of being deported again. Yep. And while we're at it, we give everybody due process. We're not sure what kind of due process, if it's executive due process or legislative due process, judicial due process, whatever. Just give them due process, damn it. All 21 million of them. Well, they'll overwhelm the system. Well, just do it. We are America after all. Oh. I see. Not really. So they are rallying around a wife beater. And then we have this phony fraud buffoon, whose name I really can't pronounce, coming to the defense of Kilmar Abrego Garcia and demanding that Trump be impeached. Trump be impeached. They just use impeachment every time they disagree with somebody. That's what they do. The Italian Prime Minister was here today. Her name is Meloni. To Trump, she says, we can make the West great again. She is very popular. Giorgia Meloni, Mr. Producer, you being of Italian background. You're mixed, of course, like the rest of it, but Italian background. Do you like her? She seems pretty good. Told President Trump that she believes together they can make the West great again. She visited Trump at the White House, where the leaders shared a bilateral lunch. What's a bilateral lunch, Mr. Producer? Is that a vegan thing? A bilateral lunch? The lunch isn't bilateral. Sorry. The lunch is not bilateral. Maybe they had some spaghetti or something. Speaking with the press in the Oval Office after the meeting, Meloni told Trump her aim is to restore greatness to Western civilization. Well, you might not want to listen to the influencers and some of the others in our country. How do we know they're influencers? Because they say they're influencers. That's how we know. I mentioned their names to people. They never heard of them before. Who the hell is that? Who is that? Influencer. You sure you don't mean influenza-er? No, influencer. Well, anyway, they don't really believe in making America or the West great again if they believe in Iran getting nukes, because that's their belief. Either they don't or they do. Either they don't or they do. She thanked Trump for accepting an invitation for an official visit to Rome in the near future and considering possibility, a location to meet also with Europe. You know, I've never been to Italy, Mr. Producer. Have you been to Italy? You want to go there one day? My wife tells me she's been there multiple times. Excuse me, cholera. She's been there multiple times. Says, we've got to go there, that I'm going to love it. But the thing about this job is it makes it tough to take a couple of weeks off. You know, I've got one guy's got an affiliate. He's looking for an excuse. Well, you're never here. And but people get upset. People out there go, where's Mark? I have great substitute hosts. Yeah, but where's Mark? You know, I've got to do what I've got to do too, but I try to do as little of it as possible. Trump heaped praise on her at the top of the press gaggle. It should be press gibberish, saying she's doing a fantastic job. I would say that she has taken Europe by storm and highly respected. Everyone loves her and respects her. I can't say that about many people. She's become a friend. We really have a great relationship between Italy and ourselves. Yep. She's solid. She's conservative. It's like the guy in Hungary. What a right-wing dictator. No, he's not. I like the guy. Because they secured their border. They don't go along with the rest of the EU. They're smart. But he's a friend of Putin. Okay, what do you want me to do? In that, I believe he's wrong. But he's also a friend of the United States. Uh-oh, you ready for this one? He's a friend of Israel. Yeah, I like Orban a lot. You know, I was invited there, Mr. Producer, to attend a CPAC event in Hungary. I'm thinking about it. In fact, the ambassador to the United States about a year ago at CPAC came up to me and said that we'd love to have you. You never know. You never know. I'll be right back.
Trust and Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust and Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust and Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code MARK now for 20% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code MARK. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/life. That's ethos.com/life.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Hey, weekend warriors, how's a little trail therapy sound right now? Hop in. Let's go for a ride in the all-new Nissan Armada Pro 4X. Tune out all those work emails and turn up that twin-turbo V6 engine. Instead of letting the kids play online, show them some epic inclines. Turn your 8-person family dinner into an exhilarating off-road adventure. The all-new Nissan Armada is here. Intelligent four-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions.
Let's see, something different for dinner. Searching restaurants near me.
Right here, ma'am. How can we help?
Gee, same old, same old.
Wait, we're right here. Ma'am, our restaurant's just a few blocks from you. Why is she not seeing us?
Back to the usual, I guess.
Ma'am, can you not see us?
Nope, they can't see you because you're buried deep in the list of local restaurants. You are invisible online. Introducing Cumulus Boost. Get a boost, get found, get on the map. Learn more at cumulusboost.com.
Making sense of your morning.
Lots of coverage here on that developing story.
O'Connor and Company. Weekday mornings from 5 to 9.
Larry O'Connor here getting you through your morning.
Making sense of Washington.
Asking some very specific questions, some legitimate questions.
Making sense of the double standard.
Then here's the latest example.
Making sense of the headlines.
Let me break it down for you because there's plenty to break down here.
O'Connor and Company with Larry O'Connor. Mornings from 5 to 9. News Talk 105.9. WMAL. Making sense of the news.
How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST, F, face drooping, A, arm weakness, S, speech difficulty, T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Making sense of the media.
The news media is attacking him because this is what happens when you're a Republican.
Chris Plant. Weekdays 9 to noon.
Yeah, our news media, really.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
Today's students are tomorrow's great thinkers and innovators. But right now, millions of kids don't have the supplies they need. Donor Shoes is a nonprofit that lets you support students and teachers in your community and beyond. Learn more at donorshoes.org.
Imagine the hospital experience. There's a constant parade of serious doctors, countless tests, and a serious diagnosis. Scary surgeries are followed by painful recoveries. You're in the hospital for days, weeks, months. Now imagine you're a child. This is why Starlight exists. Starlight programs help kids in the hospital cope, build resilience, bolster confidence, and change their outlook. Because happiness matters. Visit starlight.org to learn more.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with all service members and their families. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Illuminating the issues.
There's a whole lot missing here in this story, isn't there?
Every day.
Why are we the only ones reporting this?
News Talk 105.9. Making sense of the news.
Every 15 seconds, someone is diagnosed with cancer. If it's happened to you or someone you love, the American Cancer Society can help at every step of the journey. Visit cancer.org today.
75 years of research, 75 years of policy,
75 years of opportunity,
75 years of freedom. This is 75 years of the Muscular Dystrophy Association. Join us at mda75.org.
Making sense of your world.
I agree with you 100%.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
There's a lot of it out there.
Making sense of the news. WMAL. Making sense of the roads. Because traffic doesn't always follow the pattern. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
You can call us now at 877-381-3811. And the Liberal contact number is 877-381-3811.
Life, Liberty, and Levin. 8 p.m. Eastern Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Sunday. Both shows are going to be killers. Saturday, we have retired Colonel Richard Kempe, was the commander of British forces in Afghanistan. You've seen him before. He's fantastic. Our buddy Ben Domenech, he's terrific. That's Saturday. Wait till you hear my opening statement. Oh, my goodness, heads are going to explode. I'm not overstating it. Heads are going to explode. So you want to set your DVR if you're not sure whether you can be there or not, because, after all, it's Easter weekend. So you won't want to forget about that. In the Sunday show, our buddy Tom Cotton and Ryan Morrow. Ryan Morrow works for a think tank, and he's been doing a lot of digging into the funding and the activities of the Palestinians and how they're really trying to undermine and usurp and overthrow our country. He's with the Capital Research Center. So I try to bring you a variety of guests, including people many of you have never heard of before and who deserve attention and who have done work that you deserve to hear. So we try to make a nice mix for you and the long form interview so you can actually hear what people have to say. I notice more and more people are doing it now on Fox and elsewhere. But I know you're going to love these two shows. So go ahead and set your DVR for Saturdays and Sundays. Sundays, Easter, especially Sunday, so you don't forget, so you can look at it later if you wish. 8 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday. It's the toughest time on cable TV. Saturday and Sunday, 8 p.m., just like 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern is the toughest time on radio. But somehow we managed. I've been here almost 25 years, and I've been on Fox. How long? Fox? Almost 9, Mr. Producer? Is that possible? At least 8, I think. Something like that. 7 or 8? I don't know. I don't know. Let's take some calls. Let's do that, shall we? February 2018, so it's 7 years. Doesn't seem like 7 years. Seems like 3 or 4 years. Bruce, Ashford, Arizona, XM Satellite. How are you, Bruce?
Oh, I'm hanging in there. Hey, thanks.
Better than hanging out there, brother.
A couple of things. One, this whole birthright citizenship thing. Does that mean if I and my wife move into your house and I have a kid there, that means I own your house?
No, that means you own part of my house. But yes. And look how bizarre it is. If you're a diplomat and you come to the United States and you're pregnant and you have your baby here, they're considered still the citizen of the country from where the diplomat's from, where the parent is. But if you're an illegal immigrant, you crawl aboard the border, you violate our laws, and you have a kid here, they tell you, oh, they're an American citizen. They don't even make any sense. Doesn't make any sense.
You can get citizenship. No, it doesn't make any sense. And
I'm not counting on the Supreme Court doing the right thing. Actually, this is a black and white case that is cut and dry. And I just think some of these justices are so politicized, particularly Roberts and Barrett. Now, I just don't see them doing the right thing. As I said, I gave them an idea just now. Grandfather in those who are here now, but make it clear that from this date forward, no, there is no birthright citizenship, especially for illegal aliens. Go ahead.
Anyway, I think we should make the countries that they came from pay for their deportation fees. Why should we pay for it?
Okay, well, there's a lot of great ideas bouncing around out there. I think the goal is to get them out, period. And if you're asking them to pay fees, they're not going to take them. So that becomes a problem, I think. All right, my friend, thank you for your call. Let's continue. Susan, Finger Lakes, New York, on the Mark Levin app. How are you?
Mark, you started the show out tonight with some real great information that, first of all, you were saying like how 9/11, that catastrophic day where 3,000 of our citizens were, killed by these Islamics, that
Islamists, yeah.
Today, acknowledgement. And then you went on to say how you are now going to be part of Trump's administration to...
an advisory committee, that's part of the administration 100%, but it's an advisory committee, not a full-time job. But that's correct on Homeland Security, correct.
Yes, but...
I didn't ask for it. He called me and just asked me if I would do it. With a few, I said, absolutely. If you're asking me, Mr. President, it'd be a tremendous honor. And I don't intend to play games. I intend to be as useful, as positive in advancing his agenda and the Secretary's agenda. She's a fantastic Secretary, Chrissy Noem, as possible, and implement what they want us to implement.
Well, I know for one, I'm going to sleep better tonight knowing that you're part of this conversation.
Aren't you sweet?
And that as someone who experienced living in, and actually my office is 2 blocks away from the World Trade Center. I wasn't there that day. But, you know, I'm a baby boomer, so I never heard, you know, when this happened, it was like, this could never happen on our soil. And then it's all about Sharia law.
Can you imagine these Islamist purists having a nuclear weapon? I mean, am I the only one in this country that thinks at all costs we have to prevent that?
But they don't understand what Sharia law is, how that is what they intend. They are hell-bent on and bringing that to us. When I first heard it, after that happened...
You're obviously not an online influencer, are you, Susan?
Well, no, but we didn't even have online hardly then. So people don't understand that this is something that these people want to, they are hell-bent.
Now, listen to me, you got to watch Saturday's show in my opening. These fools, the online influencers and these other people who say we can manage around with a nuclear weapon or we can come up with some arrangement or something like that are going to be very unhappy with me and their heads are going to explode. And I can't wait. I am ready. I'm ready for the challenge. I've had enough of this stuff. I've had enough. There's too much at stake. Humanity's at stake. The country's at stake for these sloganeering ideologues to have their way. It's just, this is too much at stake. Susan, thank you and God bless you, my friend. You know, I always hear it said, and I'm speaking to you, my beloved audience. I'm very blessed to have you with me all these years. About these influencers. If you have to say you're an influencer, you're not an influencer. You know what I mean, Mr. Producer?
Yeah, like we're supposed to try it.
I do what I do. We get involved in races. We get involved in primaries. We get involved in stuff. We have an enormous impact, you and I. And we've been doing this a long time. Legislation in Congress and so forth. You have people, podcasters, others. They seem to think they run the world. They don't run a damn thing. We're just here under the radar doing what we do for the cause, because I'm an activist. Probably the first activist syndicated conservative radio show host in America. Rush would have told you he's not an activist. He supports activism, but he's a professional. And let me tell you, we miss Rush. Because Rush and I would be standing together on this. We miss Rush a ton. He would tell you the same thing. I mean, he was so pro-Israel. He may have been more pro-Israel than I am, if that's possible. But he knew Iran. He wanted nothing to do with Iran. He didn't want them to get nukes. He would be an extraordinarily powerful voice right now, which we miss a lot when it comes to this issue. We wouldn't be sitting on the fence. That's the other thing that's annoying me. We've got conservative radio talk show hosts. We have conservative TV talk show hosts. They're so scared of the influencers. They won't open their big mouths to join me in this battle. Some do. There's a handful. I don't need them, but it just shows you. I mean, this is existential stuff. You hear that word all the time, but it is what it is.
Yeah, but you can still go to the stage.
I want you to keep those images of 9/11 in your head and remember who did it. I want you to keep the images of all the cheering and celebration and the handing out of the candy in the Middle East that took place after those towers went down, after the Pentagon was hit, after those heroes went down in central Pennsylvania. I want you to remember. I want you to remember what I've told you about their ideology. And if they could have used an atomic bomb or a dirty bomb or chemical weapons or biological weapons on that day, they would have. And if they can use them tomorrow, they will. And if they don't use them as a nation state, in the case of Iran, they will use them to threaten us. They will use them to give to other people to attack us like they do with the Israelis. This is unmanageable once this gets out of the box. It's unmanageable. Period. Let's continue, shall we? Kalispell Montana. Lance, KJJR, how are you?
Good evening, sir. Hey, so the other night we had Comrade Sanders and another overreaching congressperson up here in my backyard.
Yes.
And I had the choice of either making the hour and a half drive down to listen to their psychobabble or spend a couple extra hours at work smashing my thumb. And after hearing some of the commentary that's coming out of the people that were brave enough to go, I think I made the less painful of the two decisions.
Probably did.
And I just have a quick comment for Comrade Sanders and AOC. As Jack Nicholson said in As Good as It Gets, so crazy someplace else. We're all stocked up here.
Mm-hmm. Well said. Well said, Montana. Appreciate it. I got to run. I apologize. I got deadlines, but call again. Great call from Lance there. All right. You missed the IRS deadline again. Maybe this is your first time. Maybe you don't have the money to pay the taxes you owe. This isn't going to just go away. The IRS doesn't mess around. They're applying pressure like we haven't seen in years. So if you haven't filed in a while, you haven't filed this time, even if you can't pay, don't wait. That doesn't dodge the problem. Don't face the IRS alone either. They'll skin you alive if they can. You need the trusted experts by your side at Tax Network USA. There's other tax groups out there, but they're not like Tax Network USA. Tax Network USA, they're not like the rest. They have an edge. A preferred direct line to the Internal Revenue Service. They know which agents to talk to. They know which ones to avoid. They use smart, aggressive strategies to settle your tax problems quickly and in your favor, and I'm going to prove it to you. Whether you owe $10,000 or $10 million, Tax Network USA has helped solve over $1 billion in tax debt. The others can't say that, but they can help you too. Don't wait on this, folks. It'll only get worse. This you can be sure of. Call Tax Network USA right now. It's free. They are there. Talk with one of their strategists. Put your IRS troubles behind you. Here it is. Call Tax Network USA at 1-800-958-1000. Hello. 1-800-958-1000. Again, 1-800-958-1000. Or visit tnusa.com/Levin. TN for Tax Network. tnusa.com/LEVIN. I'll be right back.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Hey, weekend warriors, how's a little trail therapy sound right now? Hop in. Let's go for a ride in the all-new Nissan Armada Pro 4X. Tune out all those work emails. Turn up that twin-turbo V6 engine. Instead of letting the kids play online, show them some epic inclines. Turn your 8-person family dinner into an exhilarating off-road adventure. The all-new Nissan Armada is here. Intelligent four-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions.
We're the stronger than we look type. I've had type 1 diabetes since I was 2. The braver than you think type.
I have to take insulin shots every single day.
The type that will stop at nothing.
No more blood sugar tests.
Absolutely nothing.
No more complications.
Until type 1 becomes type none.
Support JDRF's life-changing research, and one day you'll say, I helped turn type 1 into type none. Join us now at jdrf.org.
Making sense of the headlines, making sense of your world. WMAL's Vince Colonnese.
Thank you for all you do on the radio show.
What a nice call. Thank you very much. Weekdays, noon to 3. News Talk 105.9. WMAL, making sense of the news.
What's up, everyone? It's Trevor Sikkema here from the PFF NFL show, here to get you ready for the
I have company, my nephew. I'll come back later.
Sleepers, tidbits, mock drafts.
Sorry for timing that out, Wigan. I honestly thought that was Scotty because he was using that Guzman name up on JT's panel this morning.
Become a smarter draft fan right now on the PFF NFL podcast. The PFF NFL podcast.
Fucking thing.
The Believe Network. Follow and listen to your favorite.
I'll come back later.
Hi, I'm Vince Colonnese, host of The Vince Show, and Vince,
Podcast is a show with an
Scott went to
obsessive
get me
focus on
dinner.
what's good for
My
America.
nephew.
I'll give you the truth beneath the headlines.
I'll be back.
Of all of the nation's top stories. The Vince Show is redefining news talk with in-depth interviews.